Hello, people. I can't hear that much. I hope the music isn't too loud. I think it is. Wait, let's just, hi. Sorry, okay, that was very loud, I'm guessing. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Hi. We're seeing a whole new area of this room right now. Hi. Hi, Samurai Knight, by the way. I think you're new here. Hi, how you doing? Yippee indeed. Hi, Helen. Here we go. Hi, Joestar. Hello. Oh my god, Pepino and Mario? Hi. Good. So many new people here. Hi. You ate Samwalk. Samwalk? Sand? The seamstress. Yeah. Hi, Zeka. Hi. Greetings from Algernon. Hello, my beautiful spouse. How you doing? New angle. Yeah, this is a whole new area of the room you've never seen before. This is usually where we're at. Currently the boom arm, which this mic is usually on, is lying in my chair. Like it's a sickly Victorian child. It looks very, very funny. Yeah, hi. Hi, Mancrack. Hi. Crack. Sorry. Man. Whoop. That was not what I was supposed to do. My mouse is on this chair. And I just put my foot on it. Because I do not keep my feet on the floor. That's just not how I roll. Sorry. So there you go. That's my ankle. Hi. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. By which name should I refer to you as? Pepino or Mario? Hi. They're just leaving. You guys don't like each other in The Sims. What? But they're working on fixing the relationship. Yay, couples therapy. Ankle kinky. Yes. Hello. We're doing something different today. Which you could probably also tell. I technically also have my iPad here. I could just lay you down. Can I make this bigger? Any bigger? I don't think so. Well, I can at least put you here because that's a little bit of an eye strain to look all the way up here, but maybe that's gonna be easier. Who knows? Oof, says Joestar. Oof. We are, on the side of my living room today for a very specific reason. The reason being I want to work, or at least start working, on my cosplay. Well, I have started. I'm just nowhere close to finishing it. Of my Inej cosplay. Inej is a character from one of my most beloved book series. It's a duology called Six of Crows, written by Leigh Bardugo. It's in the universe of the Grishaverse, which encompasses a whole fucking bunch of books. I'm looking up there because they're literally right there on the shelf. We've got the original trilogy of Shadow and Bone, so Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising, which are the original books that kind of introduce you to this universe of magic-wielding witches. But, like, that is very, 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 a scratch to the surface of what it actually is, because they call it a little science. Because that is at the core what it is. They are manipulating matter. They're manipulating things that are already there. They're not necessarily creating something from nothing, which is in the series discussed as something. So, when you create something from nothing, that's called Merzost? Here comes me with my horrendous pronunciations. But yeah, that is a thing. Have a sweet safe trip home. Yeah. Bye my lovely spouse. So that is, the premise. Like, there's magic people. They are, I'm pretty sure they're the first army. They have the second army are the humans. The second army are the humans. I'm pretty sure the first, I can't remember actually. I think either way, there's two armies. Two. One of which is humans, the second of which in either position is the Grisha. And that is really cool. So there's I can okay. I'm gonna lay this microphone down very gently, and I'm very sorry if there's gonna be a lot of feedback. I might actually just 1 second just mute the microphone. And then it should be okay if I just lay it down there. I'm gonna climb on my chair. Or can I just stretch? No, okay, we're not, okay, you're not seeing my ass. Sorry, not today. Just that one, please. Just that one. Thank you. And we can also get this book as well, as long as you don't fucking fall down, because that's bad. I don't want a lot full of books. Just 2. That's enough. Alright. I'm watching you. The 2 first books of Gentle. Hello. So we've got Shadow and Bone, which is the first book of the trilogy. And one of my first English books that I've purchased next to the Raven Cycle, Six of Crows. Which is significantly larger for no reason at all. Why? It's cool. I think both of them have a pretty detailed map inside. Yeah. The map. Which details, I think, 4 countries? No, 5. So we have up top, sorry, I'm not pointing with my middle finger. This is very hard. We have Fjeda, which is essentially inspired by Norway, Finland, the whole region up there. We have Ravka, which is inspired by Russia. It is literally called the author has once described it, and I don't know if that is appropriate per se, but it makes you think the right thoughts of the aesthetic, right? As Tsarkor. So Tsar, Tsar, king, but Russian. We have Shuhan, which is generally Asian. I'm not sure which specific one of the many it is inspired most by, because I am in no ways a historian. I do not know shit about fashion unless you are asking me to pattern something, which I can do, but I can't tell you where it's from. I can't tell you what it's inspired by. I didn't study this shit. I'm sorry. I have no idea. We have all the way down here, very tiny, which you can't even really see that it's an island. It is, I promise. This is where all the merchants go, because this is Kerch. And it's loosely, they have a city called Ketterdam, which is, I think, in my brain I always think of Rotterdam, which is in the Netherlands. I did not pay attention in geography. Cut me some slack. But that is where Inej didn't come from. She's not, that's where she currently resides. She's a Suli, which is so technically, the Suli people in this universe are all of Indian descent, I would like to say, but please, don't quote me on that. I'm loosely basing this off of information that, my brain still pertains. I love this lecture setup. You're right about Rotterdam, yeah. Also, I'll hear on Algon, bye bye, kiss kiss. Oh yeah, okay. I missed that message. I'm so sorry, my spouse, my lovely. But yeah. But we were at Suli people, and the Suli people are a little bit also inspired by the Romani people. So I'm not sure if what is the main inspiration there. I just know that the 2 Suli people, mainly Zoya Nazialensky and Inej Ghafa, are both Inej Ghafa's actress, Amita Suman, comes from Nepal. I do not know where Zoya's actress is from. I just know that I'm gonna meet her in person in Bonn this year because she's also gonna be there at the function. It's gonna be really cool. But they're both from, I think, similar regions. I do not know. I don't want to assume. I am very bad at assuming. So I'm just not gonna. I just know that they're in the similar groups. Anyways, so they're both Suli. It's very important that they're both Suli, and I like that they have found actresses to represent that. It's really cool. Anyways, yeah, so we have Kirch. We also have, I don't know, is that also Novia's Amt on there? I'm not sure. I can't read upside down. Let me just look. I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's called the Southern Colonies, which is, ouch, okay. Very, very colonialistic of her, but whatever. It's Navia Zem is very African inspired. We know this right there, Navia Zem. That is where Jesper is from, who is mixed, but mostly, I mean, he is also mixed in the books. That is a proven fact. He is half from the fictional Ireland, which is full of people who have red hair and very pale skin, so very much Ireland inspired, which is all the way up there, the Wandering Isle. You can't really see that. It's the detached little thing up there. And his mother was from Navia Zem, who was a dark-skinned woman. So he's mixed. That is also where this, and I'm gonna say it, Zeke, and you're gonna be quiet about it. This universe's spice comes from. Spice as in the spice from Dune. It's called Yoda Param. I'm not sure how to pronounce that because it's only been mentioned in the series once, and I have not watched the series in like a year. So chill. Shush, Zeke. Shush. Zoya's actress is Indian. Yeah. Thank you for Googling for me. Thank you. So, both of them, yeah. Anyways, Param is the drug that makes you go so crazy insane that you almost die craving for it. So just Yoda is getting made in Novia Zem. That is where the fields are. So they are a very big trading post in this universe because Yoda is, I think, like, everybody can use it. I can't remember the specifics because it's been a while, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure Yoda is just kind of, it enhances you a little bit. So it's not very much the spice from Dune. I just know, like, it is literally orange as well. Like, it's a plant, you crush it down, and it is orange. That's all I know about it. Would you say that one's relationship with the spice might let someone infer something about the person's relative power? I do not understand that question, but I can tell you that it is essentially just, it enhances you a little bit. But it does not give you, it's not a hallucinogenic. It does not give you, like, visions. It does not. That's not what it does. The drug version, so the enhanced heroin, weed crack, fucking amalgamation, that version of it might give you visions, but it might also kill you. So, I don't know. This book, which you can't really see, thank you very much, in which Inej Ghafa is first introduced, is also a prison heist book, which is so fucking cool. So they break into, funnily enough, a prison, the highest security prison that is in this world, essentially, which is in Fjeda, which is in the Norway land where the witch hunters are. Oh, fun fact, Fjeda is based upon the belief that all Grisha, so the people who can use the little science and are essentially magic, are witches and should be burned at the stake. Fun. So this is essentially where they keep all of them, well, not all of them prisoner. There's like other people who did other crimes who are also there to be kept prisoner. But these people hate Grisha. They hate them. That is literally their entire culture. It's just like, kill them. Yeah, don't. And funnily enough, we also have one of the main characters in this book, who is also Fjeden, and one of the main characters is also a witch, and who are the both? Enemies to lovers. It is très magnifique. Yeah. Also, look at this, right? Look at this cute raven in the corner. It's so cute. But yeah, we have my beloved Inej. I mean, what I technically wanted to tell you about was the different kinds of Grisha. This is where this all started. That's why I took down the book, so I can tell you what Grisha there are. I'm so sorry that this derailed already so much, but I see this as the introduction video anyways. So you know what this is about, so you know what we're gonna do. All of my material is just on this table right there, so I'm gonna just pull that up in a second. But like, first we're gonna introduce you to the character itself. Inej, is not a Grisha. I'm just telling you about the lore, about the, about the general, there's a cat water ball down there, and my cable is just kind of like hovering right above it. So I'll put you right over there. Hello, you. Hello, Evan. I'm sorry that I'm gonna cut into your stream time a little bit. I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to do this earlier, but I also wanted to do a bunch of other stuff, and planning took very long. I'm so sorry. Hi. But essentially, Inej is like an assassin type character. I'm very tempted to read you a little bit of the first chapter because I think she's so cool. Like, I could just kind of like read you. Like, I've got time. I'm okay. I'm probably gonna do. Now I'm just planning for the future. Don't apologize. Don't tell me what to do. I will apologize to you tenfold now. Never apologize. Well, too late, buddy. I'm so sorry still. Like, I would want to be there as well, but I don't know how long I'm going to go on like this. Like, I'm going to probably read a little bit of her chapter because she's the first POV haver after the prologue. So I really want to read you at least a little bit of the first chapter, if not all of it. To just like have a little introduction to my little baby. Cause she's really cool and I really like her and I want you to know. Also, I'm wearing thematically appropriate wear. I'm just gonna move the book so I can show you. It's the Crow Club merch that I got at the last con of this caliber. Like last year when I went to that same con in Bonn, this is what I got. This is, I think, one of the only things that I got besides like autographs and the autograph that's in that corner over there, actually, fun fact, and pictures that I haven't taken out because I'm still very embarrassed about them because the cosplay was unfinished and it was very sweaty and I really didn't like it, so they're just in the shame corner. But yeah, it's the merch of the Crow Club, and I really, really like it, and it's really cute. So yeah, Inej is kind of a assassin character with cool knives, which my lovely friend Mika 3D printed me, which is really, really cool. I have a whole bunch of them. There's so many knives that are still in parts. These ones I took out because I shared them with the actress, Amita Suman, and we did a picture together, and she was very excited about the knives. So yeah, but Inej is very cool in the fact of how do I start and how do I not spoil anything is the question. She's really cool. I think it is kind of common knowledge, isn't it? It's not like a plot twist necessarily. Well, okay, spoilers for a little bit. Should I put up like should I put up a little? I have my mouse over here. It's fine. I'm just gonna have like a set list. I have the set list. I can just across the Spider-Verse. Crazy. Can I just spoilers for 6 of Crows, and then we're gonna size it up if I can. Yes, I can. Come on, give it to me, baby. We're thinking on the fly here, baby. Look at that. I'm so smart. There we go. Spoilers for 6 of Crows. If you don't want to hear about it, now is the time to leave, because I'm gonna be very unabashed about the spoilers, because I can't stop myself. So if you don't want to listen to it, as soon as this thing goes away, if you skip ahead, because like you can see this in the bottom of the screen if you skip ahead, right, through the VOD as well. As soon as this leaves the screen, you can stop muting the stream. Hi, James Ross. Essentially, okay, spoiler alert. Not immediately, but like, you know. Essentially, Inej is a character, the essentially right-hand woman of Casbrecker, who is the current boss of the Crow Club. And he is kind of, we also have, if we talk about Inej, we have to talk about Casbrecker, because they are my Roman Empire, and you can take them from my cold, dead hands. They are essentially like the power couple that isn't yet a couple, and isn't until like the last like page of the book officially. Of the barrel. The barrel is the lowest part of Ketterdam, which I think only gets shown, right, in the second book, when we are actually around the city a lot, because the second book is called Crooked Kingdom, because in the first book it ends with Inej getting kidnapped, I think. Right? I can't remember. Did you get kidnapped? Nope, that's the thank you notes. Drugs, gang, come to gloat. Nope. Ugh, that's Pekka Rollins. Oh my god, yeah, it ends, the first book ends, like, officially, like, 46, chapter 46 for Pekka Rollins is essentially the epilogue. It's not the last chapter, per se. The last chapter of the main Grishaverse is from Kaz, which is such a nice, like, thing, because, like, the prologue is from motherfucking Yost. Lots of people do just kind of clown on Yost, but he's so fun. And, you know, he does die, so, like, whatever. But yeah, the first actual chapter is Inej's, and the last official chapter from the main Grishaverse is from Kaz. So, yeah. And it ends with Kaz saying, I'm going to get my money, and I'm going to get my girl. So, we love mutual pining. Anyways, so Inej is the spider, which, you know, I hate spiders, but I love her, so there's that. Might not watch the cosplay live, since 6 of Crows is, of course, all good since I read, but I don't want to get spoiled about the other books. That's so fair, don't worry. I know you probably can't read this if you can't listen to this if you're avoiding the spoilers, which is fair. But yeah, like, she's the spider. She's a spy for Casbrecker. Casbrecker is the leader of the gang. He is Dirty Hands. He is the bastard of the barrel. He is the man, the king, the man. I mean, he would never call himself king. He calls Pekka the king because he despises him to no end. Casbrecker is inadvertently, Dirty Hands and Casbrecker, the name, were created by Pekka Rollins because Pekka Rollins fucked him and his brother Jordy over when they were kids, and Kaz and his brother Jordy were fucked over by Pekka Rollins because he cheated them out of all of their money, eventually making them live on the streets because they lost all of their money, and thus Jordy got the literal plague that exists in this book. There exists a plague. A lot of people died from it. And Jordy died, and then Kaz had a fever, but he didn't really get, killed by the plague that he did get. So he got tossed with the corpses and then tossed... This is gruesome, by the way. This is really gruesome. This book is not for the lighthearted. Someone gouges another person's eye out. And by someone, I mean Casbrecker, because Casbrecker gouges, literally peels out the eye of a person, tosses it in the water, and then tosses him afterward after he gets the answers. Because someone, and by someone I mean this Uman, I think his name is Uman. I always thought it was omen, like a bad omen. Overboard because Omen has hurt Inej before they get on the boat to the prison, and was gloating about it, and essentially made an innuendo about the fact that he stuck her up with a knife and essentially almost killed her because she was bleeding out. And Kaz was so mad about that he cut out this guy's eye. And it's, it's lovely. It's lovely. I love this guy so much. But yeah, so back to the corpses. They get tossed out to the corpse pile in the water, to a designated body island, because they didn't have enough space to actually do mass graves and bury them all, so they had to throw them in the water. Yay. And he was still alive, so he was just buried underneath bodies and bodies of dead people who were all still having the plague and all very dead. And he got out of it and had to use his dead brother's body as a floaty to get back to the shore. And that was the moment Casbrecker was created, Dirty Hands was created. He created himself from the bottom up, and then he became the boss of the barrel, the boss of the Crow Club, and made it his lifelong goal to take down Pekka Rollins brick by brick until there's nothing left, which he accomplishes, and I'm very proud of that. But yeah, essentially, Inej is his spider. She is, or was, indentured to a brothel at a very young age. I think at 10, 13, barely conscious as a teenager. Not even a teenager. I'm pretty sure that still counts as a kid. She was sold into a brothel. She was sold into sex slavery. That is the whole point of her character. That she was sold into the brothel and got tattooed with a peacock feather and as property and as everything. It was the whole shebang. Tante Helene, the, nation's most hated enemy in the entire series, which is so fair. She sucks. And she was living there, surviving there for several years. I think 6 in total, at least. Too many years for this poor girl. And one day she walked past Kaz and apparently did so quietly walked up to him and then asked him, or told him, I can help you, in a way of like saying, I can give you sexual favors, whatever. That he was very impressed by it, came back to buy her off of Tante Helene because she was so quiet that he did not notice her, and that made him think, oh, this is a worthy investment, which he also calls her. He calls her an investment. The girl that he likes a whole lot, that he, in every chapter, he's like, oh my god, Inej. He calls her an investment to her face as she's bleeding out and almost dying. We love a romantic man, you know, we love that. And he does buy her off of Tante Helene, but now she's indentured to the Crow Club, because the Crow Club doesn't fully belong to Kaz, it belongs to, not Van Helsing, I don't even fucking know his name anymore, but Pigin? No, that's a musician, the real word, fuck. Per Haskell, there we go, that's his name, that's the current owner of the Crow Club. Whatever. So she is now his, like, he gives her the first knives she's ever gotten. She probably still has them, which is cute. To defend herself with, to get information out of people. She doesn't kill because she's very religious. I also have the little prayer necklace over there on the door. I'm gonna show that you in a second. But, like, she is very, you know, she is very resilient. She has named all of her knives after saints that she believes in. Like, it's a whole thing. But, yeah, so, she is an ex-indentured prostitute that is now part of a murderous crew of thieves. So she's very cool. Anyways, I think that's all of the spoilers, so I can just, boop. No more spoilers! Yay! At least not for the later parts. And this, you know, this costume that I'm doing is specifically from the series, which goes not that differently. There's a few things that go differently than it is in the books. I can't really name you all of them. But a big part of it is that her indenture hasn't been paid off fully. But that makes sense actually in the canon, because that means it's very much before the prison break. The series, the live action series, takes part before the prison break even, you know, was, you know, a thought. Like, that was before Nina even was with the crew, and at the point of the book series, that, like, she's already, like, a good friend of Kaz's. So, yeah. Yes. Oui. Très bien. Okay. So, essentially, that's her. That's her character. She is pretty cool. So, I think... Okay, I really want to watch it. I really want to read you her first chapter. I know it's, like... It's boring for a lot of you. Feel free to skip it. But... Okay, that's Kaz. It's not a long chapter per se. That's still a few pages. Let's just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 20 pages. We'll read as much as I can. As I want. We've been live for what, 36 minutes? Oh, we can be live for a little bit longer. That's okay. I mean, for sure, we're still gonna, because, you know, there's gonna be sewing involved. I don't know if there's sewing gonna be today, because I need to also get out the patterns and show you everything. Like, today's just an intro, you know? It's okay. I'm allowed to do some things like this. And I'm already... you know, preemptively apologizing for the fact that I can't read. I'm illiterate, but we're gonna do our best. So yeah. First chapter. Well, second chapter, because the first chapter is yours, but we're not gonna read that because it's boring and you don't care. So that's okay. We're gonna read second chapter. Inej. Which is on page 15. Which also starts with Casbrecker. The words Casbrecker. Anyways. Buckle up. Casbrecker didn't need a reason, which is a great intro to the chapter. Casbrecker didn't need the reasons. Those were the words whispered on the streets of Ketterdam, in the taverns and coffee houses, in the dark and bleeding alleys of the pleasure district known as the Barrel. The boy they called Dirty Hands didn't need a reason any more than he needed permission. To break a leg, sever an alliance, or change a man's fortunes with a turn of a card. Of course they were wrong, Inej considered as she crossed the bridge over the black waters of the Beurskanal to the deserted main square that fronted the exchange. The exchange, capitalized. Every act of violence was deliberate, and every favor came with enough strings attached to stage a puppet show. Kaz always had its reasons. Inej could just never be sure they were the good ones, especially tonight. Inej checked her knives, silently reciting the names as she always did when she thought there might be trouble. It was a practical habit, but a comfort too. The blades were her companions. She liked knowing they were ready for whatever the night might bring. She saw Kaz and the others gathered near the great stone arch that marked the eastern entrance to the exchange. 3 words had been carved into the rock above them. Okay, I can't really read that because I'm pretty sure that's Dutch. Vita, where are you when I need you? I'm just gonna read it as it is written. I don't know. Enyent Wohent Halmhent. I'm sorry to every Dutch person out there. I don't think that's even those are real Dutch words. I'm pretty sure they're not. Like 100% sure they're not. Or maybe they're like, Sobachka is a word. Not the Dutch, I know. Von Dutch? Anyone? No. I know that the Russian is a very, it's leaning on the actual Russian. The Ravkan is very near the Russian language. It takes a lot of inspiration from there. So it might be that these words could be similar to words that are existent in the Dutch language. Just, I don't know them. I don't know Dutch. I barely know 2 languages. I'm so sorry. Anyways, the translation. Yes, I love fun Dutch. Yeah, Sobachka is real. We know this. We know this. Sobachka, is that even... I'm pretty sure it's also in the books. I can't remember. It's in the second book and that's up there, so we're not gonna go there. But yeah, translations of these words as they are supposed to be in this language. Industry, integrity, prosperity. She kept close to the shuttered storefronts that lined the square, avoiding the pockets of flickering gaslight gatekeep, girl boss, cast by the street lamps. As she moved, she inventoried, that's a word, the crew Kaz had brought with him. Dirks, Roddy, Muzzin, and Keeg. Roddy is actually the guy who mans the boat at the end of it. Annika and Pim, and his chosen second for tonight's parlay, Jesper and Big Bolliga. They jostled. Oh my god, they jostled. Did they yodel too? They jostled and bumped one another, laughing, stamping their feet against the cold snap that had surprised the city this week. The last gasp of winter before spring began in earnest. They were all bruisers and brawlers, culled from younger members of the dregs, the people Kaz trusted most. Inej noted the glint of knives tucked into their belts, lead pipes, weighted chains, axe handles studded with rusty nails. Here and there, the only gleam of a gun barrel, specifically from Jesper. She slipped silently through their ranks, scanning the shadows near the exchange for signs of the black-tipped spies. 3 ships! Sorry, that was very loud, I'm sorry. 3 ships, Jesper was saying. The shoe sent them. They were just sitting in First Harbor, cannons out, red flags flying, stuffed to the sails with gold. Big Bolliger gave a low whistle. Would have liked to see that. I would have liked to steal that, replied Jesper. Half the merchant council was down there flapping and squawking, trying to figure out what to do. Don't they want the shoe paying their debts? Big Bolliger asked. Kaz shook his head, dark hair glinting in the lamplight. He was a collection of hard lines and tailored edges. Sharp jaw, lean build, wool coat snug across his shoulders. Yes and no, he said. In his rock salt rasp. Jesus. He is the man. A man. How dare you? It's always good to have a country in debt to you. Makes for friendlier negotiations. There he goes. Always the planner. Always the thinker. Maybe the Shu are done being friendly, said Jesper. They didn't have to send all that treasure at once. You think they suck a trade ambassador? They stuck that trade ambassador? They killed him? Kaz's eyes found Inej unerringly in the crowd. Kittadam had been buzzing about the assassination from the ambassador for weeks. It had nearly destroyed Kurt's Zemini relationships. Oh yeah, Zemini is the ethnicity of the people in Navuzem. I forgot about that. And sent the merchant council into an uproar. The Zemini blamed the Kurch suspected the Shu. Kaz didn't care who was responsible. The murder fascinated him because he couldn't figure out how it had been accomplished. In one of the busiest corridors of the Stadthalle, in full view of more of a dozen government officials, the Zemini train ambassador had stepped into a washroom. No one else had entered or left, but when the aide knocked on the door a few minutes later, there had been no answer. When they looked down the door, they found the ambassador face down in the white towels, a knife in his back, the sink still running. Kaza sent Inej to investigate the premises after hours. The washroom had no other entrance, no windows or vents, and even Inej hadn't mastered the art of squeezing herself through the plumbing. Funny! Yet, the Zemini ambassador was dead. Kaz hated a puzzle he couldn't solve. And he and Inej had concocted 100 theories to account for the murder. None of which satisfied. But they had more pressing problems tonight. She saw him signal to Jesper and Big Bardugo to divest themselves of weapons. Street law dictated that for a parley of this kind, each lieutenant be seconded by 2 of his foot soldiers and that they all be unarmed. Parley. The word felt like a deception, strangely prim and antique. No matter what the street law decreed, this night smelled like violence. Oh boy, you got a big storm coming. Go on. Give those guns over, Diderik said to Jesper. With a great sigh, Jesper removed the gun belts at his hips. She had to admit he looked less like himself without them. The Zemini sharpshooter was long-limbed, brown-skinned, constantly in motion. ADHD, am I right? He pressed his lips to the pearl handles of his prized revolvers, bestowing each with a mournful kiss. Take good care of my babies, Jesper said, as he handed them over to Dirks. If I see a single scratch or nick on those, I'll spell forgive me on your chest with bullet holes. Love him. You wouldn't waste the ammo. And he'd be dead halfway through forgive, Big Bardugo said, as he dropped the hatchet, a switchblade and his preferred weapon, a thick chain weighted with a heavy padlock, into Roddy's expectant hands. So many words. Jesper rolled his eyes. It's about sending a message. What's the point of a dead guy with Forg written on his chest? Compromise, Cass said. I'm sorry, does the trick and uses fewer bullets. Dirks laughed, but Inej noted that he cradled Jesper's revolvers very gently. Good. What about that? Jesper asked, gesturing to Kaz's walking stick. Kaz's laugh was low and humorless. Who'd deny a poor cripple his cane? He's canonly disabled because he broke his leg very badly. It healed wrong and now he goes with a limp. So he uses a walking stick as a walking aid, which is also a fun fact. Leigh Bardugo herself, the author of the books, also uses a walking cane. So I really like that little detail. So we have not only a disabled, like one of the main cast being disabled, we have someone from an ex-brothel background, we have an ADHD, we have an ADHD, we have bisexual rep, we have gay rep, we have repressed rep, but we'll get there. Well, I mean, we won't get there. This is just, I'm just reading the first chapter, but just so you know, it's diverse. We have some diversity. Anyways, If the cripple is you, then any man with sense. Then it's a good thing we're meeting the Geels. Kaz drew a watch from his vest pocket. It's almost midnight. Inej turned her gaze to the exchange. It was little more than a large rectangular courtyard surrounded by warehouses and shipping offices. But during the day, it was the heart of Ketterdam, bustling with wealthy merchants buying and selling shares in the trade voyages that passed through the city ports. Now it was nearly 12 bells, midnight, and the exchange was deserted, but only for the guards who patrolled the perimeter and the rooftop. They'd been bribed to look the other way during tonight's parlay. The exchange was one of the few remaining parts of the city that hadn't been divvied up and claimed in the ceaseless skirmishes between Ketterdam's rival gangs. It was supposed to be neutral territory, but it didn't feel neutral to Inej. It felt like the hush of the woods before a snare yanks tight and the rabbit starts to scream. It felt like a trap. I'm just realizing how dark it's getting. Lovely. This is a mistake, she said. Big Bolliger startled. He hadn't known she was standing there. Inej heard the name of the dregs preferred for her whispered among their ranks. The Wraith. That's her name. My baby. Giels is up to something. Of course he is, said Kaz. His voice had the rough, braided texture of stone against stone. How pleasant. Inej always wondered if he'd sounded that way as a little boy. If he'd ever been a little boy. Has he ever been? I don't think he did. Then why come here tonight? Because this is the way Per Haskell wants it, which is the boss of the Crow Club. Old man, old ways, Inej thought, but didn't say, as she suspected the other dregs were thinking the same thing. He's going to get us all killed, she said. Jesper stretched his long arms overhead and grinned, his teeth white against the stark skin. He had yet to give up his rifle, and the silhouette of it across his back made him resemble a gawky, long-limbed bird. Statistically, he'll probably only get some of us killed. It's not something to joke about, she replied. The look Kaz cast her was amused. She knew how she sounded. Stern, fussy, like an old crone, making dire pronouncements from her porch. She didn't like it, but she also knew she was right. Besides, old women must know something, or they wouldn't live that to gather wrinkles and yell from their front stoops. True. Jesper isn't making a joke, Inej, said Kaz. He's figuring the odds. Big Bolliger cracked his huge knuckles. Well, I've got larger and a skillet of eggs waiting for me at the Cooper room, so I can't be the one to die tonight. Care to place a wager? Jesper asked. I'm not going to bet on my own death. Kaz flipped his hat onto his head and ran his gloved fingers along the brim in a quick salute. Why not, Bolliger? We do it every day. He was right. Inej's debt to Per Haskell meant she gambled her life every time she took on a new job or assignment, every time she left her room at the flat. Tonight was no different. Kaz struck his walking stick against the cobblestones as the bell from the Church of Border began as the bells from the Church of Barter began to chime. I can't read, I'm sorry. The group fell silent. The time for talk was done. Giels isn't smart, but he's just bright enough to be trouble, said Kaz. No matter what you hear, you don't join the fray unless I give the command. Stay sharp. Then he gave Inej a brief nod. And stay hidden. No mourners, Jesper said as he tossed his rifle to Roddy. No funerals, the rest of the dregs murmured in reply. Among them, it passed for good luck. It's really cute. No mourners, no funerals is very much their calling, their saying. Before Inej could melt into the shadows, Kaz tapped her arm with his crowhead cane. Keep a watch on the rooftop guards. Giels may have them in his pocket. Then Inej began, but Kaz was already gone. Inej threw up her hands in frustration. She had 100 questions, but as usual, Kaz was keeping a stranglehold on all of the answers. Bleh. She jogged towards the canal-facing wall of the exchange. Only the lieutenants and their seconds were allowed to enter during the parlay, but just in case the Black Tips got any ideas, the other dregs would be waiting right outside the eastern arch, with weapons at the ready. She knew Giels would have his crew heavily armed Black Tips gathered at the western entrance. Inej would find her own way in. The rules of fair play among the gangs were from Per Haskell's time. Besides, she was the Wraith. The only law that applied to her was gravity. And some days she defied that too, because she's awesome. The lower level of the exchange was dedicated to windowless warehouses. So Inej located a drain pipe to chimney up. Something made her hesitate before she wrapped her hand around it. She drew a bone light from her pocket and gave it a shake, casting a pale green glow over the pipe. It was slick with oil. She followed the wall, seeking another option, and found a stone cornice bearing a statue of Kurt's 3 flying fishes within reach. She stood on her toes and tentatively felt along the top of the cornice. It had been covered in ground glass. I'm expected, she thought, with grim pleasure, which is really fun, because they were like, the Wraith is probably going to be there. We gotta be prepared. She joined with the Dregs less than 2 years ago, just days after her 15th birthday. Christ almighty. She's so young. It had been a matter of survival, but it gratified her to know that, in such a short time, she'd become someone to take precautions against. Though, if the Black Tips thought tricks like this would keep the Wraith from her goal, they were sadly mistaken. She drew 2 climbing spikes from her pockets of her quilted vest, and wedged first one, then the other, between the bricks of the wall as she hoisted herself higher, her questing feet finding the smallest holes and ridges in the stone. As a child, learning the high wire, because she's also from a circus, she'd gone barefoot, but the streets of Ketterdam were too cold and wet for that. After a few bad spills, she'd paid a Grisha fabricator, which is the kind of Grisha magic user, to work with materials to make them sturdier and cooler, So fabricators, you deal with metals, with fabrics. I think that's it. Like metals and fabrics. I can check. We have, Durasts, which is like materials, like fabrics and stuff, and alchemy, who are like very much like with metal and shit. We have Squallers, which is the air people. The Inferni are the fire people. The Tide Makers are the water people. And then we have Corporalki, which are like the people who are very specified on the body, which we have Heartrenders, who can make your heart stop and stuff, and healers who specify on just healing your body and making you feel better. Yay. Okay. She'd paid a Grisha fabricator working in secret out of a gin shop at the Windstrat to make her a pair of leather slippers with nubbly rubber soles. They were perfectly fitted to her feet and gripped any surface with surety. On the second story of the exchange, she hoisted herself onto a window ledge just wide enough to perch on. Kaz had done his best to teach her, but she didn't quite have his way with breaking and entering, and it took a few tries to finesse the lock. Finally, she heard a satisfying click. The window swung open on a deserted office, its walls covered in maps, marked with trade routes and chalkboards listing share prices and the names of ships. She ducked inside, refastened the latch, and picked her way past the empty desks with their neat stacks of orders and tallies. She crossed to a slender set of doors and stepped onto a balcony that overlooked the central courtyard of the exchange. Each of the shipping offices had one. From here, callers announced new voyages and arrivals of inventory, or hung the black flag that indicated the ship had been lost at sea with all of its cargo. The floor of the exchange would erupt into a flurry of trades, runners would spread the word throughout the city, and the price of goods, futures, and shares in outgoing voyages would rise or fall. But tonight, all was silence. A wind came in off the harbor, bringing the smell of the sea, ruffling the stray hairs that had escaped the braided coil at the nape of Inej's neck. Down the square, she saw the sway of lamplight and heard the thump of Kaz's cane on the stones as he and his seconds made their way across the square. On the opposite side, she glimpsed another set of lanterns heading towards them. The Black Tips had arrived. Inej raised her hood. She pulled herself onto the railing and kept soundlessly to the neighboring balcony. Then the next, tracking Kaz and the others around the square, staying as close as she could. I need to get this up. so I can read properly. Are you still with me? Still having fun? His dark coat rippled with the salt breeze, his limp more pronounced tonight, as it always was when the weather turned cold. She could hear Whisper keeping... Whisper? Just a ship name out there. Jesper. She could hear Jesper keeping up a lively stream of conversation, and Big Bolliger's low, grumbling chuckle. As she drew nearer to the other side of the square, Inej said the Giels had chosen to bring Elzinger and Oomen. Yeah. Kitty, of course. Hello, Kitty, of course. How you doing? Exactly as she had predicted. Inej knew the strengths and weaknesses of every member of the Black Tips, not to mention Harley's Pointers and the Liddies, the Razor Gulls, the Dime Lands, and every other gang working for the streets of Ketterdam. Well, not for the streets. Working the streets. You know what I mean. Okay. Hand gets tired. I'm gonna lean it on my foot. Okay. It was her job to know that the Giels trusted Elzinger because they'd come up through the ranks. Well, that Giels trusted Elzinger because they'd come up through the ranks of the Black Tips together, and because Elzinger was built like a stack of boulders, nearly 7 feet tall, Christ. Dense with muscles, his wide, mashed-in face jammed low on a neck, thick as a pylon. She was suddenly glad Big Bolliger was with Kaz. That Kaz had chosen Jesper to be one of his seconds was no surprise. Twitchy as Jesper was, with or without his revolvers, he was at his best in a fight, and she knew he'd do anything for Kaz. Well... yeah, there we are. I lost my line. She'd been less sure when Kaz had insisted on Big Bolliger as well. Big Ball was a bouncer at the Crow Club, perfectly suited to tossing out drunks and wasters, but too heavy on his feet to be much use when it came to a real tussle. Still, at least he was tall enough to look Elzinger in the eye. Well, Inej didn't want to think it too much on Gil's other second. Oomen made her nervous. He wasn't as physically intimidating as Elzinger. In fact, Owen was made like a scarecrow, and scrawny, but as if beneath his clothes, his body had been put together at wrong angles. Word was he'd once crushed a man's skull with his bare hands, wiped his palms clean on his shirt front, and kept right on drinking. Makes sense. I'm gonna turn up the light on the camera a little bit because this is getting very, very dark out here. Does that work? Are we okay? I don't know. Are we? Maybe I also get the ring light. Oh, my leg. Just a little bit closer. Hi. How you doing? Okay. You were already close enough. Whoop. Okay. We're not moving the camera too much. I'll just put you down there. Hi. Hello. Can I just put you right there? Look, that's a flattering angle if I've ever seen one. Hello. That's just... sorry, that's probably very loud. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I also put up the lamp in the middle of the room today, so that's what I did today. I got on a ladder and drilled a hole in the ceiling. Yay. Anyways, Omen. He's written with 2 O's, that's why I'm unsure if it's Omen. He's an omen of oncoming doom. Anyways, he just tried to quiet the unease rolling through her, and listened as Giels and Kaz made small talk in the square, while their seconds patted each of them down to make sure no one was carrying. Naughty, Jesper said as he removed a tiny knife from Elzinger's sleeve and tossed it across the square. Clear, declared Big Bolliger as he finished patting down Giels and moved on to Omen. Kaz and Giels discussed the weather, the suspicion that the coop room was serving watered-down drinks now, and that the rent had been raised, dancing around the real reason they'd come here tonight. In theory, they would chat, make their apologies, agree to respect the boundaries of Frith Harbor, then all head out to find a drink together. At least that's what Per Haskell had insisted. But what does poor Haskell know? Inej thought as she looked for the guards patrolling the roof above, trying to pick out their shapes in the dark. Haskell ran the Dregs, but the Dregs are the gang that is residing in the Crow Club, by the way. That's the Dregs, which is funny, because it kind of implies like the bottom of the barrel. Whatever. But these days, he preferred to sit in the warmth of his room, drinking lukewarm lager, like a beer. Can you hear the crows? The crows? They're here. They're listening. They want me to continue. Yes, I know. Building model ships and telling long stories of his exploits to anyone who would listen. He seemed to think wars could be settled as they once had been, with a short scuffle and a friendly handshake. But every one of Inej's senses told her that it was not how this was going to play out. Her father would have said the shadows were about their own business tonight. Something bad was going to happen here. Kaz stood, with both gloved hands resting on the carved crow's head of his cane. He looked totally at ease, his narrow face obscured by the brim of his hat. Most gang members in the barrel loved flash. Gaudy waistcoats, watch fobs studded with false gems, trousers in every print and pattern imaginable. Kaz was the exception, the picture of restraint. His dark vests and trousers simply cut and tailored along severe lines, which sounds so brutal. At first, she'd thought it was a matter of taste, but she'd come to understand that it was a joke he played on all the upstanding merchers. He enjoyed looking like one of them. I'm a businessman, he told her. No more, no less. You're a thief, Kaz. Isn't that what I just said? We love that for him. Okay. Now he looked like some kind of priest come to preach to a group of circus performers. Because the others look ridiculous. A young priest, she thought, with another pang of unease. Kaz had called Giles old and washed up, but he certainly didn't seem that way tonight. The black-tips lieutenant might have wrinkles creasing at the corners of his eyes and burgeoning jowls beneath his sideburns, but he looked confident, experienced. Next to him, Kaz looked, 17. Does that mean that Inej is technically older? No, she's younger. Same age. She's also 17. They're all 17. Except for Matthias, who's 18, as the oldest in the group. This is ridiculous. They should all be in their 20s. With their experience and everything. But whatever. Let's be fair, yeah? Which is also in cursive, which means this is a thing that cannot be translated from Kirch. Which it is written J-A, which means it means yes in German. That's why I'm very, convinced that Ketterdam and everything is very Netherlands-ish, like German, like that area of our Europe. But yes, moving on. Let's be fair, yeah? All I want is a little bit more scrub, Giles said, chapping the mirrored buttons of his lime green waistcoat. Ew. Ew, that's a fashion statement. It's not fair for you to call every spent happy tourist stepping off a pleasure boat at Fifth Harbor. Fifth Harbor is ours, Giles. Our Europe. Fifth Harbor is ours, Giles. Kaz replies. The Dregs get first crack at the pigeons who come looking for a little fun. Pigeons are specifically referred to, like, the people who are the tourists, specifically. Pigeons are tourists, which people can pluck from, which essentially means they can steal from them. Giles shook his head. You're a young one, Brecker, he said, with an indulgent laugh. Maybe you don't understand how these things work. The harbors belong to the city, and we have as much right to them as anyone. We all got a living to make. Technically that was true, but Fifth Harbor had been useless and all but abandoned by the city when Kaz had taken it over. He'd had it dredged and then built out the docks and the quay, and he'd had to mortgage the Crow Club to do it. Per Haskell had railed at him and called him a fool for the expense, but eventually he'd relented. According to Kaz, the old man's exact words had been, "Take all that rope and hang yourself." Yay for the suicide jokes. Well, it's not a suicide joke. It is. Per Haskell was very serious. Hang yourself, yeah. But the endeavor had paid for itself in less than a year. Now Frith Harbor offered berths of merchant ships, as well as boats from all over the world, carrying tourists and soldiers eager to see the sights and sample the pleasures of Ketterdam. The dregs got first try at all of them, steering them and their wallets into brothels, taverns, and gambling dens owned by the gang. Frith Harbor had made the old man very rich, and cemented the dregs as real players in the barrel, in a way that not even the success of the Crow Club had. But with profit came unwanted attention. Gills and the Black Tips had been making trouble for the dregs all year, encroaching on Frith Harbor, picking off pigeons that were rightfully theirs. Frith Harbor is ours, Kaz repeated. It isn't up for negotiation. You're cutting into our traffic from the docks, and you intercepted a shipment of Yoda spice that should have docked 2 nights ago. You don't know what you're talking about. I know it comes easy, Gills, but do not try dumb with me. I love that he's so sassy. Gills took a step forward. Jesper and Big Bolliger tensed. Quit flexing, boy, Gil said. We all know the old man doesn't have the stomach for a real brawl. Kaz's laugh was dry as the rustle of dead leaves. But I'm the one at your table, Gills. And I'm not here for a taste. You want a war? I'm like, sure, you eat your fill. Burpees. Another one. And what if you're not around, Brecker? Everyone knows you're the spine of Haskell's operation. Snap it and the dregs collapse. Jesper snorted. Stomach, spine. What's next? Spleen? Shut it, Omen snarled. The rules of parley dictated that only the lieutenants could speak once negotiation had begun. Jesper mouthed sorry and elaborated to pantomime locking his lips shut. He's so funny. I love him. It's my baby. I'm fairly sure you're threatening me, Gills, Kaz said, but I want to be certain before I decide what to do about it. He's such a little shit. Sure of yourself, aren't you, Brecker? Myself and nothing else. Gills burst out laughing and elbowed Omen. Listen to this cocky little piece of crap. Brecker, you don't own these streets. Kids like you are fleas. A new crop of you turns up every few years to annoy your betters with a big dog decides to scratch. And let me tell you, I'm about tired of the itch. I can't read, I'm sorry. He crossed his arms, pleasure rolling off him in smug waves. What if I told you there were 2 guards with city-issue rifles pointed at you and your boys right now? Well, of course, that was to be expected. Oh my god, Algernon, hello. You're in the middle of me reading the first chapter of Six of Crows. Hi. Hello. They're parlaying with a rival gang right now, but there's apparently guns pointed at them. Inej's stomach dropped. Was that what Kaz had meant when he said Gills might have some of the guards in his pocket? Kaz glanced up at the roof. Hiring city guards to do your killing? I'd say that's an expensive proposition for a gang like the Black Tips. I'm not sure I believe your coffers could support it. Inej climbed into the railing and launched herself off to safety of the balcony, heading for the roof. Sorry, gotta readjust. If they survived the night, she was going to kill Kaz. Fair point. There were always 2 guards from the Stadtwatch, which is very funny, posted on the roof of the exchange. Oh, the rival gang. Pew pew. Very much, but there's no weapons, technically. A few Kruge, which is the currency of Ketterdam. Well, Kirch. A few Kruge from the dregs and the Black Tips had ensured they wouldn't interfere with the parley, a common enough transaction, but Gills was implying something very different. Had he really managed to bribe the city guards to play sniper for him? If so, the dregs' odds of surviving the night had just dwindled to a knife's point. Like most of the buildings in Ketterdam, the exchange had a sharply garbled roof to keep off the heavy rain, so the guards patrolled the rooftop via a narrow walkway that overlooked the courtyard. Inej ignored it. It was easier going, but would leave her too exposed. Instead, she scaled halfway up the slick roof tiles and started crawling, her body tilted like at a precarious angle, moving like a spider as she kept one eye in the guard's walkway and one ear to the conversation below. Maybe Giles was bluffing, or maybe two guards were hunched over the railing right now, with Kaz or Jesper or Big Walliger in their sights. Took some doing, Giles admitted. We're a small operation right now, and the city guards don't come cheap, but it'll be worth it for the prize. Oh, Fifth Harbor. That being me, that being you. I'm flattered. The Drakes won't last a week without you. I'd give them a month on sheer momentum. The thought rattled noisily around Inej's head. If Kaz was gone, would I stay, or would I skip out on my debt, take my chances with Per Haskell's enforcers? If she didn't move faster, she might as well find out. Smug little slum rat, Giles laughed. I can't wait to wipe that look off your face. So do it, Kaz said. Inej risked a look down. His voice had changed. All humor gone. Because he's a threatening little man. He is. I hope that isn't too audible, that the thing is a little bit loose. Should I have them put a bullet through a good leg, Bricker? Where are the guards? Inej thought, picking up her pace. She raced across the steep pitch of the gable. The exchange stretched nearly the length of a city block. There was too much territory to cover. Stop talking, Giles. Tell them to shoot. Kaz, Jesper said nervously. Go on, find your balls and give the order. What game was Kaz playing? Had he expected this? Had he just assumed Inej would find her way to the guards in time? She glanced down again. Giles radiated, anticipation. Took a deep breath, puffing out his chest. Inej's step faltered, and she had to fight not to go sliding straight off the edge of the roof. He's going to do it. I'm going to watch Kaz die. Fire! Giles shouted. A gunshot split the air. Big Bolliger let loose a cry and crumbled to the ground. Damn it! Shouted Jesper, dropping to one knee beside Bolliger, pressing his hand to the bullet wound as the big man moaned. You worthless podge, he yelled at Gies. You just violated neutral territory. Nothing to say you didn't shoot first, Giles replied. And who's going to know? None of you are walking out of here. Threatening! Giles' voice sounded too high. He was trying to maintain his composure, but Inej could hear panic pulsing against his words. The startled wing beat of a frightened bird. Why? Moments before he'd been all bluster. That's when Inej saw Kaz still hadn't moved. You don't look so well, Giles. I'm just fine, he said, but he wasn't. He looked pale and shaky. His eyes were darting right and left as if searching the shadowed walkway of the roof. Are you? Kaz said conversationally. Things aren't going as planned, are they? we are getting a glimpse at Kaz's prowess with, planning shit. Also, I think I'm just gonna move a little bit closer to the camera because I've seen so far away. Hello, hi. I'm here. How you doing? Anyways, Kaz, Jesper said. Bolliger's bleeding bad. Good, Kaz said. Kaz, he needs a medic. Kaz spared the wounded man the barest glance. What he needs to do is stop his belly aching and be glad I didn't have Holst take him down with a headshot. Because he has the people in his pocket, of course. Even from above, Inej saw Giles flinch. That's the guard's name, isn't it? Kaz asked. Willem Holst and Bert van Daal, the two city guards on duty tonight, the ones you emptied the Black Tip's coffers to bribe? Giles said nothing. Wilhelm Holst, said Kaz loudly, his voice floating to the roof. Likes to gamble almost as much as Jesper does. So your money held a lot of appeal, but Holst has much bigger problems. Let's call them urges. I won't go into detail. A secret's like coin. It doesn't keep its value in the spending. You'll just have to trust me when I say this one would turn up even your stomach. Isn't that right, Holst? Ew. The response was another gunshot. It struck the cobblestones near Giles' feet. Giles released a shocked bleat and sprang back. This time Inej had the better chance to track the origin of the gunfire. The shot had come from somewhere near the west side of the building. If Holst was there, that meant the other guard, Bert Van Dahl, would be on the east side. Had Cass managed to neutralize him too? Or was he conning on her? She sped over the gables. Just shoot him, Holst. Giles bellowed, desperation sawing at his voice. Shoot him in the head. Cass snorted in disgust. Do you really think that the secret would die with me? Go on, Holst. Put that bullet in my skull. There will be messengers sprinting to your wife and your watch captain's door before I hit the ground. No shot came. How? Giles said bitterly. How did you even know who would be on duty tonight? Had to pay through the gills to get through that roster. You wouldn't have outbid me. Let's say my currency carries more sway. Money is money. I trade in information, Giles. The things men do when they think no one is looking. Shame holds more value than coin ever can. He was grandstanding. Inej saw that, buying her time as she leapt over the slate shingles. Schlingles. Are you worrying about the second guard? Oh, good old Bert Van Dahl? Cass asked. Maybe he's up there right now, wondering what he should do. Shoot me? Shoot Holst? Or maybe I got him too, and he's getting ready to blow a hole in your chest, Giles. He leaned as if he and Giles were sharing a great secret. Why not give Van Dahl the order and find out? Giles opened and closed his mouth like a carp, then bellowed, Van Dahl! Just as Van Dahl parted his lips to answer, Inej slipped up behind him and placed a blade to his throat. She'd barely had time to pick out his shadow and slide off the roof tiles. Saints! Cass liked to cut it close. Shh, she whispered into Van Dahl's hair. Ear. That one. She gave him a tiny jab in the side so that he could feel the point of her second dagger pressed against his kidney. Please, he moaned. I like when men beg, she said, but this isn't the time for it. She's so slay. She's so girl boss. Below, she could see Giles's chest, rising and falling with panicked breaths. Van Dahl! He shouted again. There was a rage in his face when he turned back to Cass. Always one step ahead, aren't you? Giles, when it comes to you, I'd say I have a running start. So petty. But Giles just smiled, a tiny smile, tight and satisfied. A victor smile, Inej realized with fresh fear. The race isn't over yet. Giles reached into his jacket and pulled out a heavy black pistol. Yep. Finally, Cass said. The big reveal. Now Jasper can stop keening over Bolliger like wet-eyed woman. Jasper stared at the gun with stunned, furious eyes. Bolliger searched him. Oh, Big Bull, you idiot. He groaned. Inej couldn't believe what she was seeing. The guard in her arms released a tiny squeak, and her anger and her surprise, she'd accidentally tightened her grip. Relax, she said, easing her hold. But all saints, she wanted to put a knife through something. Big Bolliger had been the one to pat down Giles. There was no way he would have missed the pistol. He'd betrayed them. Was that why Cass had insisted on bringing Big Bolliger here tonight? So he'd have a public confirmation that Bolliger had gone over to the Black Tips? It was certainly why he'd let Holst put a bullet in Bolliger's gut. But so what? Now everyone knew Big Bull was a traitor. Cass still had a gun pointed at his chest. Giles smirked. Casbecker, the great escape artist, how are you going to wriggle your way out of this one? Hee. Going out the same way I came in. Cass ignored the pistol, turning his attention to the big man lying on the ground. Do you know what your problem is, Bolliger? He jabbed at the wounded Big Bolliger's stomach with the tip of his cane. That wasn't a rhetorical question. Do you know what your biggest problem is? Big Bolliger mewled. Give me a guess, Cass hissed. Big Bull said nothing, just released another trembling whimper. Alright, I'll tell you. You're lazy. I know it. Everyone knows it. So I had to ask myself why my laziest bouncer was getting up early twice a week to walk 2 extra miles to Silas Fry for breakfast, especially when the eggs are so much better at the Cooper room. Big Bull becomes an early riser. The Black Tips must start throwing their weight around Fifth Harbor and then intercept our biggest shipment of Yoda. It wasn't a tough connection to make. He sighed and said to Giles, that is what happens when stupid people start making big plans, yeah? Doesn't matter much now, does it? Replied Giles. This gets ugly. I'm shooting you from close range. Maybe your guards get me, or my guys, but no way you're going to dodge this bullet. Kaz stepped into the barrel of the gun, so that it was pressed directly against his chest. No way at all, Gilles, he says. He's so fun. He's so fun as a character. You think I won't do it? Oh, I think you'll do it gladly, with a song in your black heart. But you won't. Not tonight. Gilles' finger twitched at the trigger. Kaz, Jesper said. The whole shoot me thing is starting to concern me. Yeah, it should. He's a little bit too suicidal for us all. Owen didn't bother to object Jesper mouthing off this time. One man was down. Neutral territory had been violated. The sharp tang of gunpowder already hung in the air. And along with a question, unspoken in the quiet, as if the Reaper himself invaded the answer. How much blood will be shed tonight? In the distance, a siren wailed. 19 Borstraat, Kaz said. Gilles had been shifting slightly from foot to foot. Now he went very still. That's your girl's address, isn't it, Gilles? Gilles swallowed. Don't have a girl. Oh, yes, you do, groaned Kaz. She's pretty, too. Well, pretty enough for a fink like you. Seems sweet. You love her, don't you? Even from the rooftop, Inej could see the sheen of sweat on Gilles' waxen face. Of course you do. No one that fine should ever have looked twice at a barrow scum like you, but she's different. She finds you charming. Sure sign of madness, if you ask me, but love is strange that way. Don't you know it, Casbreaker? Does she like to rest your pretty little head on your shoulder? Listen to you talk about your day? Gilles looked at Kaz as if he was finally seeing him for the first time. The boy he'd been talking to had been cocky, reckless, easily amused, but not frightening, not really. Now the monster was here, dead-eyed and unafraid. Casbreaker was gone, and dirty hands had come to see the rough work done. She lives at 19 Borstraat, Kaz said in his gravelly rasp. 3 floors up, geraniums in the window boxes. There are 2 dregs waiting outside her door right now, and if I don't walk out of here whole and feeling righteous, they will set that place alight from floor to rooftop. It will go up in seconds, burning from both ends with poor Elise trapped in the middle. Her blonde hair will catch first, like the wick of a candle. You're bluffing, said Gilles, but his pistol hand was trembling. Kaz lifted his head and inhaled deeply. Getting late now. You heard the siren. I smell the harbor in the wind, sea and salt, and maybe... Is that smoke? I smell too. There was pleasure in his voice. Oh, saints, Kaz, Inej thought miserably. What have you done now? Again, Gilles' finger twitched at the trigger, and Inej tensed. I know, Gilles, I know, Kaz said sympathetically. All that planning and scheming and bribing for nothing. That's what you're thinking right now. How bad will it feel to walk home knowing that you've lost? How angry your boss is going to be when you show up empty-handed, and that much poorer for it. How satisfying it would be to put a bullet in my heart. You can still do it. Pull the trigger. We can all go down together. They can take our bodies out to the Reaper's barge for burning, like all paupers go. Or you can take a blow to your pride. Go back to Borstraat, lay your head in your girl's lap, fall asleep still breathing, and dream of revenge. It's up to you, Gilles. Do we get home tonight? Gilles searched Kaz's gaze, and for whatever he saw there made his shoulders sag. Inej was surprised to feel a pang of pity for him. He'd walk into this place buoyed on bravado, a survivor, a champion of the barrel. He'd leave as another victim of Casbreaker. You'll get what's coming to you soon, someday, Breaker. I will, Kaz said, if there's any justice in the world, and we all know how likely that is. Gilles let his arm drop. The pistol hung uselessly by his side. Kaz stepped back, brushing the front of his shirt with the gun head. Gun barrel has rested! Gilles, go tell your general to keep the black tips out of Firth Harbor, and that we expect him to make amends for the shipment of Fjordur we lost. Plus 5% for drawing steel on neutral ground, and 5% more for being such a spectacular bunch of asses. He's so funny. Then Kaz's cane came and swung in a sudden sharp arc. Gil screamed as his squished bones shattered. The gun had clattered to the paving stones. I stood down, cried Gil, cradling his hand. I stood down. You draw on me again, and I'll break both your wrists, and you'll have to hire someone to help you take a piss. Cass tipped the brim of his hat up with the head of his cane. Or maybe you can get the lovely Elise to do it for you. Ah! Cass crouched down beside Bolliger. The big man whimpered. Look at me, Bolliger. Assuming you don't bleed to death tonight, you have until sunset tomorrow to get out of Ketterdam. I hear you're anywhere near the city limits, and I'll find you stuffed in a cake at Silas Fry. Then he looked at the Gils. You help Bolliger, or I find out he's running with the black tips. I don't think I won't come after you. Please, Kaz, moaned Bolliger. You had a home, and you put a wrecking ball through the front door, Bolliger. Don't look for sympathy from me. He rose and checked his pocket watch. I didn't expect this to go on so long. I best be on my way, or poor Elise will be getting a trifle warm. Gil shook his head. There's something wrong with you, Brecker. I don't know what you are, but you're not made right. Kaz cocked his head. Cocked? He cocked. Cocked his head to one side. You're from the suburbs, aren't you, Gils? Come to the city to try your luck? He smoothed his lapel with one-gloved hands. Well, I'm the kind of bastard they only manufacture in the barrel. Last page. You're almost done. Despite the loaded gun at the black tip's feet, Kaz turned his back on them and limped across the cobblestones towards the eastern arch. Jesper squatted down next to Bolliger and gave him a gentle pat on the cheek. Idiot, he said sadly, and followed Kaz out of the exchange. From the roof, Inej continued to watch as Omen picked up and holstered Gil's gun, and the black tips said a few quiet words to each other. Don't leave, Big Bolliger begged. Don't leave me. He tried to cling to the cuff of Gil's trousers. Gil shook him off. They left him curled on his side, leaking blood into the cobblestones. Inej plucked Van Daal's rifle from his hands before she released him. Go home, she told the guard. He cast a single terrified glance over her shoulder and sprinted out down the walkway. Far below, Big Ball had started trying to drag himself across the floor of the exchange. He might be stupid enough to grasp Brecker. He might be stupid enough to cross Kaz Brecker, but he'd survived this long in the barrel, and that took will. He might make it. Help him, a voice inside her said. Until a few moments ago, he'd been her brother in arms. It seemed so wrong to leave him alone. She could go to him, offer to put him out of his misery quickly, hold his hand as he passed. She could fetch him a medic to save him. Instead, she spoke a quick prayer to the language of her saints, and began the steep climb down the outer wall. Inej pitied the boy who might die alone, with no one to comfort him in his last hours, who might live and spend his life as an exile. But the night's work wasn't yet over, and the Wraith didn't have time for traitors. And that's chapter 1. And then Kaz says that he actually didn't set the house on fire, because with his reputation, a monster doesn't have to do every monstrous thing to be perceived as a monster, which is cool. Anyways, so after that quick detour of an hour, my goodness, I'm so sorry. We are now in a lot of darkness. I'm gonna see if I can turn up the light a little bit so you can actually see. Do I need to up the brightness as well, or can you still see me if I'm back there? I hope so. But yeah, that's Inej from her perspective. First chapter. Hope you're hooked. Well, it's the second chapter, but you know, it gets good. They're good. They're really funny. They are, I promise. And there's a lot of, a little bit of romance going on. But like good romance, because they're both, very, very touch-averse. Anyways, I'm gonna... Where's my cable? There's my cable. Yay! Hi! I'm standing. Do I just push this over here? Or... I don't know. I haven't prepared for this. I've just been, holding this microphone, but I don't know if I should, lay it somewhere while I do this. I don't know. I could probably just lay it down somewhere, right? Where do I put you? Because I don't have, a tripod for this microphone. I only have the big mic arm, and that's not going to help me here. I think, okay, that's my phone right there. I'm going to just move this here, and I'm gonna lay you down very gently. Wait, I'm gonna mute this so you don't hear big boof. That should be okay. Can you still hear me? I think you can. Okay. I'm gonna angle up the camera so you can see me better. Hello! Yay. That's, you know, tripod. Ha. Okay, so, essentially, what I've got is a lot of plans that are still not completely transferred to this notebook, but we're working on it. It's my seamstress journal, which I've started today. But essentially, I have a whole list of things that I want to get done for this cosplay, which you can't see, which is unfortunate. Well, we're gonna have to do it a ways away. I don't know. Can I just... There we go. So you can kind of see. We have a list. We have the stuff that I can get, kind of make. Well, not really make. These are the stuff that is like, that's a wig, the pants that I have bought, I haven't made them, the belt that I still need to buy, the Saint Nicholas, which I've already done, which I could show you, 1 second. Pretty accurate, actually. It is the little picture. It has 2 sides. One is a little bit closer than the other, but this is the one that she wears in the series. It's very cute. I feel like I'm a little bit of a genius with having the, like, printing it on with, like, transfer paper, you know? It's good. It's good shit. Anyways, so we have a lot of things that I still need to do. We have the boots, which I also have. I have them on the floor. I can show you in a second. But what I need to make is the undershirt, the shirt itself, which has a lot of patterns on it, the vest, the knives, and paint the knives, because I have to make knives and I also have to paint the ones that are 3D printed. And we have little sketches of all of the things. So we have half of the vest, which has, it's leather, it has funky closures, it has little knife pockets. We have the little knee bracers that are knitted. We have the Saint Nicholas, which I've already done. We have the shoes, we have the back of this shirt, we have the belt up here, we have the undershirt, and we have the shirt, which is kind of just hidden down there because it's just a fucking normal shirt. There's no special, like, pattern about it. It is just a normal shirt with patterned sleeves, which are painted on, which, crazy. Well, I think they're printed on, actually, but I don't have this kind of technology. I have to hand paint them, which is gonna be fun. We have the pants, and the wig. I have my little pages of each of them. So we have what it looks like from the front, what it looks like from the back, and what it looks like spread out on a piece of fabric. Then we also have, for example, the art that goes, like the pattern that goes on her sleeves. I still have to figure out how it is actually assembled on there, because I'm probably gonna have to freestyle it a little bit because it's very unclear. But we're working on it. We also have the vest. Oh, that's the wrong side of the book. There we go. Which has some darts on the sides. It has a little dart underneath the boob. And it has funky little closures, which I have, you know, there's a close, like, it's close, but it's not the same, which bothers me a little bit, but we're gonna have to live with that. And then we have the knives, which I have most of them printed out from a 3D printer, but a lot of them I'm gonna have to make out of foam. So most, like these right here, I think all of them I have to make from foam and a lot of hot glue. So that's gonna be fun. But I have, whoop, okay, that was stupid. We have these in here as kind of a guide. I wrote that all down in my sketchbook a while ago. But yeah, so we have the prayer necklace. We've seen that. We have leather pants, which are a little bit tight, but we're working on it. Pants. Yeet. And we have shoes, which are incredibly uncomfortable to wear, actually. Okay, I'm gonna turn on more lights. Also, I still need to redo the ring light. Hello! Now that we don't need to look at very tiny things anymore. Shoes. Very tiny heel. Which, if you're looking for shoes, if you're looking for boots of this caliber, always look for chunky heel, because that essentially gives you more support and also doesn't hurt your feet as much. So we've got this. It's very fun. It has like stretchy little bits at the end here. Oh, barely stretchy. But yeah, I wore these last year on the con and it was so painful. But, you know, we live, we die. It's fine. We have all of the knives that I have gotten 3D printed, which, fun fact, arrived right on the day that I left for Bonn last year, which is very funny. So, yeah, we have these. They're very rough, as you can maybe see. They're not very, like, it's not the highest quality of print, which is fine. We have a lot of them. So many of them, actually. I think a few doubles, even. Let me just kind of see. Oh, no, you broke. Well, we have these tiny ones. We have, I think, 4 of them. They go into the pockets of the vest that I've shown you. We have that, we have that. We have a little tiny baby knife. It's very cute. Then we have this, which is, I think, one of my favorites, I'd say. Which has very cool patterns along the sides. And we have some that were 3D printed with a resin printer, which I'm just gonna get them out of there. Lamau. They're a little bit wobbly and a little bit wonky because I don't think they cured correctly, but teeny tiny baby knifeys. They're also very pointy and very hard. Way more hard than these are. But yeah, I have to paint them, I have to sand them down, and there's gonna have to be a few edits being made with probably a lot of hot glue and a lot of paint, because these are, surprise, surprise, not black. They are silver and gold interchangeably. These are, for example, the blade is silver and the handle is gold. Because, you know, tacky. We love that. We love that for her. They're so cute, actually. They are. She has them hidden, like, all over the place. She also has little, like, belt pockets for her knives, which I'm also gonna do. I have specific leather for that. Not that it's specific to making of pockets, but it is, you know, it is a black leather that should fit. It's a little bit thick, so I'm not sure if... I don't know. We'll see. We'll get there. But this is, for example, I got this piece, exactly as it is, for €3 at the thrift store. So some of this is thrifted, some of this is bought new. It's all a mishmash. The shoes, for example, and the pants are secondhand thrifted online. So there are thrift stores online, like Vinted, which is where I got my stuff from, where people can sell their used clothes. So I did try to not buy the clothes new, but, well, okay, chill, don't break. It's too soon for you to break, but apparently I didn't close you right. That's fair. That's my mistake. I'm gonna turn you a little bit so you can see, because this is where the action's at. Oh yeah, also, one second. I have Kaz's cane. Well, I don't have it, I made it. One sec. We also have this, and we also have that. These are the knitted bracers that my mom made me. They're very cool. And this is the cane that I made. With a lot of hot glue, a tiny PVC pipe, and because it bends usually, there's a little bamboo pipe in there. This is the tag that means it's safe to use on the con. from the Comic-Con that we went to. And this end is an old cigar case that I cut in half, stuffed full of stuff so it is a little bit taller, and then hammered down at the base so it has a flat tip because it was very rounded, and that is not good for a cane that you're trying to use to support yourself. Which, we can turn this downwards a little bit. It is technically at the correct height for me if I needed a walking aid. So we have hand carved from a piece of wood and hand painted with a little bit of glossy nail polish for the eye to make it shine. But yeah, you can kind of see the wood grain from where it was cut because I didn't really sand it down very well. And the kind of feathery stuff right here, that is all hot glue, so yay. But yeah, I hand carved this in my dad's garage. Well, not garage, it's like a little shack where he keeps all of his screws and all of, well, he kept, it's no longer in there, it's now in his closet, in his hallway closet, which I think is very funny. Can I pull you up a little bit? Because I think you being all the way down there is not doing you any favors. One sec. It's a slow process. Because I'm no longer sitting, so you might as well go up. Okay. Chill. Don't. There we go. Okay. You okay? Okay. Don't get the cable pulled out, please. So I'm gonna move this back a little bit so the tripod stands. Yay! There we are. A little bit more on head height. Bonk. You can also see the clock in the background. That's where I always look to the side. Also at this mirror. To look at it like I'm in the office. Whee! But, you know, I'm not cosplaying that guy. That's what I'm gonna give to my friend who does cosplay that guy. What I've already made for the cosplay that I wore last year is the undershirt. However, it is not completely screen accurate, which is what I want. It is a little tight in places, and it doesn't have the actual black leather trim on the sides that I wanted. So we're gonna have to fix that. But this is a good fallback option if I do actually just fail at that. It is the shirt. Technically, here at the back, there should be a zipper, but the zipper kept just convulsing off of it and being all weird, and I didn't like that, so I removed it for the time being. Where did I put you? Where did I put the zipper? The zipper is somewhere, it's lost to time. But yeah, we have this as a technically finished piece of this cosplay, so if all else fails, I do have that. But, you know, I don't want it to fail. That's the whole point. I don't want it to fail. We have some more fake leather, which is a lot thinner, so I might actually use that for the knife pockets at the belt, because it's also fake leather, because this is real leather. The little oddly cut piece, that's real leather. This, fake leather. As you can see, this is not how the skin of a cow looks like, or a pig. This is just fabric. We have two. This one was €1. Fun. And this was €2, because it's double the size. Nice. Shit's cooking. Yeah, I'm showing you everything that I've got so far. Okay. Also, it's not shit's cooking, it's she's cooking. I can't read. Hello, Vita. Yes. Put that away. Then we have this, which none of this outfit is white. What is this? Which is a great crossover. This is what stiffens a collar in a shirt. It's a very, very, very thin piece of fabric, which I can pull out so you can see just how thin it is. It is very thin. Very thin. Very, very, very tiny. It has, on this side, which you can't really see, it has little adhesive dots. So you put that on the collar, and you put it between the two sides of the collar. So if you are constructing a collar, Can you even hear that? I hope you can, because the microphone is just over here. I hope I'm not too quiet. If you're constructing a collar, especially for a very fancy shirt, you have a double collar. You have the double, I mean, you can fold it over at the top. You can also sew it out the top. So you can have two halves. You can have two separate parts that are the same size of a collar, mushed together like a sandwich, where you have this piece, this exact same size as one collar shape on top of it. Or you have it doubled up, so it's kind of like zigzag, 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 zig. Like, it's a big, like, triple sand clock timer thing. I don't know how to explain it. I need, like, a whiteboard to, like, hello class, this is a double, triple time sand thing. Sand clock. What is it called? I don't fucking know. But, like, you put it in between there, you iron it, done. Stiffened collar. Woo! Usually you starch it, I think. It's a starch collar. I'm pretty sure this is just the modern version of it because it is adhesive. So it's heat adhesive. Then we have this bitch, which is fake leather in turquoise. It is so large. There's so much of it. It was very expensive. But for trial and error, I really wanted to make sure that I had enough to make this vest at least twice. Just in case I fucked up, because I was scared that this fabric was going to go out of production and I had no way of getting it back. And at this point, also, this smells like a pool. This smells like a pool. I just want you to know that. At this point, since it's been, I think, at least a year since I first purchased this, the fabric has most likely gone out of production. So, I mean, it might have also just, you know, it's not gonna be the same color if I reorder it. That's essentially it. But it is fake leather, which looks very, very convincing. And that's gonna be the vest. And then we have the chiffon, which is gonna be the shirt. It's not gonna be exact. It's because this is a normal chiffon, right? Silk chiffon is what they actually use for a character. But this is the closest I could get. This is also just very, very doubled on. So technically, just unraveling it all, it's gonna be more like this. Which is still way too bright, but it resembles her first season look. Also, I got a lot of it because, again, double is better than nothing. And if I don't use it all, oh, I hate this fabric. I can make different stuff from it. Isn't that swell? Whee! 1 second. We're gonna fold this back up again. Love dramatic flair. Hate cleaning it up. It's not gonna be exact. Don't at me about it. This is my space. I can do whatever I want. We also have the inner lining of the vest, which is going to be a lot darker and grayer because it is not, as you can very clearly see, well, actually, it kind of in the lamplight it looks a little bit more exact, but it is not. It is very greenish grayish, while this is very bluish turquoise-ish. You get the gist. And as fellow cosplayers like to do, this is going to be the fake foam. Well, it is real foam. The foam thingies that I'm going to use to make the knives. I'm going to cut out of this, and I'm going to carve them down. This is also the funky side, which I'm probably going to do it in a way where I somehow get this side adheres to a different size and then carve it down. So I'm going to need 2 of each knife, kind of stick them together, carve them down, and then somehow make them look good with a lot of paint. But yeah, this is the foam that a lot of cosplayers use. Usually they reuse like old, you know, those like puzzle pieces that have numbers or the alphabet on it. That's what most of them use, like the colorful ones. But I'm using the black ones because I'm edgy and it's a very nice bottom coat that I don't need to worry about. See, easy. And I didn't have them in the first place, so otherwise I would have used those because reuse, reduce, recycle. But here we are. Also, something that I probably will not be able to get done, but is on the horizon, is a reversible backpack, which, where did I keep my sketchbook? Where did you go? I don't know. Are you down here with the mochi? No, that's the Stardew Valley book. Where did my sketchbook go? Oh yeah, it's in my bag. I know where my things are. My reversible backpack has on one side the design for Alina, and on the other side it has the bag design for Inej. I'm gonna have to chop that down again. We have the reversible backpack. The concept is relatively simple. It's the same thing inside and outside, sewn together so that if you reach in to the backpack, pull it out, gut it, and then write it again, technically it would be a whole different backpack, painted differently. So we'd have on this side the Alina backpack, which has on the very top, around the rim, a painted antler, a double antler actually, and on the button it's a little sun. And then down here it is a sea dragon, which is a resembling of the Trilogy. So we have the antler for the first one, the sea dragon for the second one, and a feather representing the firebird of the third book. On the sides, we have the flag of the Darkling and the flag of her, so the Sun Summoner, which, you know, is represented here again, I think. Well, I mean, that is, yeah, that's the sleeve design, actually. You can't really see that. Can you see that? Can you see that? There you go. Here you go. Whoop. You know, on her sleeve, shoulder to middle of the arm. That is what is on there, and that is the flag design. So this is the entire side of this backpack. And then we have up here, the Darkling and the Sun Summoner. You can't really see that. That's very unfortunate. There we go. A little bit. And then on this side, we have Inej. All of her knives, with none of the names, but you know. We have the crow down here. I had, technically, the idea to actually make it like a cityscape, which would have been way funner, but I don't know where I put that, because I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere, but, well, okay. And along the sides, these are the designs that are on her sleeves. And then on the sides, we have feathers. I wanted to make them playing cards, but then I was like, yeah, well, she's not all about that play, so she doesn't have that. But yeah, that's an idea for the future. We have like different colors for the pockets, the main body of the backpack, and the hood of the backpack, so that's gonna be a lot. And especially a lot to paint. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. If I can only do one side of it, that's also completely fine, and the reversible part will come in at a later point. We'll see about it. I don't know if I can do it, and it's okay if I can't, which is fair. It's fair. It's totally fine. Also, which I haven't added. One sec. I'll be right back. Anything else I need? Nope. 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 These are all unimportant. Okay, that's the cloak pattern, that's why it's so large. Actually, I can show you this too. We have, because, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have made all of these patterns myself. Because these patterns of these clothes do not exist in real life. Only the seamstresses of the series have the patterns who made the costumes in the first place. The general public I'm just sitting on my sketchbook. The general public does not have these patterns. They do not exist. So I had to look at these fucking clothes so much to make sure that I get them right. So we have the Inej vest, which I should have actually also put the parts of it to the side. The Inej top and the Inej shirt. Which the shirt is, I think, the only pattern which is originally just a normal shirt pattern where I extended the collar and I made the sleeves different. That's all I changed about it, essentially. I'm gonna put you down again, sorry. Teehee, there we go. So I can open this up and show you. So you believe me, that is a pattern that I made myself. We have the side. You can already see the paper glue thingy. We have the seam allowance. We have original vest shape and Inej corrections. Apparently I made some corrections to it, but you can, okay, gotta dim the lights so you can kind of see. This is all made with like red and blue tipped pencils, so I can have like corrections and inner seam allowance, outer seam allowance, the whole shebang. So that is one side of it for the vest. The front piece, fascinating. Mirrored. Why do I need this specifically? That's my question. So I know how big it is at the actual place. Well, that's fair. I can't remember. It's been a year since I made this. So, cut me some slack, please. We have this, we have that. At some point we will also have the back. What are you? Yes, the side pieces. A lot of them. I'm so hungry. What's happening? We're already at the 2-hour mark. I haven't done shit. But yeah, this is the vest. We also have the top, which I do kind of want to show you the absolute ridicule of the other thing that I made a pattern for, which is a shirt that also does not exist in the public because it is pleated. It has, well, it has pin tucks. That's what it has. Pin tucks, if you don't know what that is. Can I even show you? Do I have a real world example of this? I don't think so. Because it's ridiculous. If you've ever seen a shirt have, like, little... How do I say this? I can also probably just give you an example. Can you please move? Thank you. Inej Ghafa, that means down here there's also should be Alina Stakov. Oh, well, that's not what I meant to do, but okay, whatever. We have this. Is that a good picture to show you? Yeah, sure. This right here. Let me just press Alt real quick. Those little tucks that she's got on her shirt. Right there. These. That is ridiculous because a lot of shirts that have these kinds of pin tucks have only a few, like 5 or so rows of these little tiny pin tucks. They're like 1 centimeter wide, but make your entire shirt double the length, at least, to make sure that you get all of these. So, it's one shirt. It's double packed because it is so ridiculous. So both sides of this have I think, what, 20 pin tucks in it. Because, and this is the ridicule, you can already kind of see the lines. I made a 2-scale pattern piece of a pin tucked shirt. 1/2. Pretty sure this is the collar. Where's the collar? Where are you? What is this? Where does this start? Where do I go? If I look at this. Okay, yeah, that's also the sleeve. So, like, this is one side, 1/2 of a shirt. Look at this. Look at the size of this. Now I'm going to show you the actual shirt. Like how it actually looks. I'm pretty sure it's this. Nope. I think that's the back. Nope. Yes? Maybe? Yep. This is the side of the pant. This is the same pattern piece. Right? This same surface area at the end of it. The same surface area. Can you believe that? It's crazy up in here. This took me like 4 hours. Because all of this needs to be perfectly 1 centimeter away from each other. I had to do multiple attempts. It was a grueling affair, but I made it in the end. And that's why it's also like cut off so weirdly with like triangles. Because I cut it while it was still folded up like a little... I don't know what it's called. Harmonica. See harmonica. The little thingy. Wow. Right? Right? Thank you. Thank you for the wow. It was a lot of work. And I'm not even doing the cosplay anymore because it is a lot of work with Inej also. So, I'm not breaking this. Please don't break. I don't know. How did I fold you? How the fuck did I fold you? Hello. Did I fold you like this? Ridiculous. Fold you in. Fold you like this. There we go. In. There we go. Yay. Okay, and then I put you back on the shirt. See, this is like where the pin tucks go. The red lines, that's where the pin tucks are. This is how large the actual piece of fabric is because it wraps around your body, has, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Has a seam right here, has a little bit of overlay right here in the front because it has also like where the buttons go, so it's like this. Fashion. Kind of ripped it a little bit, but that's okay. It's just, this is just the inside piece. It's fine. It can get ripped. It will not die from a little rip. Please fold naturally. Thank you. Okay, come on. And then we go. Boop. Good. Done. All right. Let's put you back where you came from, you heathen. I don't... How the fuck? How the fuck did I put you in there the first time? That makes no gosh darn sense, but okay. Put you in. And put you in the other side, maybe? Who knows? Who knows how I did things back in the day? Not me. I have the memory of a goldfinch. Do they exist? I don't even know. See? No memory. I mean, I also don't know shit about birds, so. Ah, well, fair. That is just kind of crushing that other one. That's fair. Go on. In you go. There you go. That's a boy. So we have Alina jacket, which was a fucking hell thing to figure out how to do with all of the seams, because it's a very wildly patterned jacket, which made it hard to see where the seams are in this shirt. But I'm not doing those anymore. I'm doing them another time. I have, like, the fabric for the shirt up there. It's currently getting shelved. Anyways, back in the closet you go. So, I don't know if I'm going to start any sewing today. I'm sorry. This is essentially just the planning session, the showing of progress, the introduction to the character. I don't know. I'm very excited about the planning sessions. I don't know how I'm going to set up the actual doing sessions yet. I really want to do a mock-up of both the shirt and the vest. Because I already have this shirt, which you can't see anymore because I'm sitting on it. Come here. This. I already have this. If you give me a moment, I can actually show you what it looks like. Can you see that? You can see that actually. There's a mirror back there. I'm gonna leave the room. I'll see you in a second. Oh yeah, I forgot how ridiculous this is. But yeah, shirt, which I'm way too square for, but you know. The armholes are the biggest problem. I have a lot of corrections for this. Also, it needs to be longer. Because this is, like, ridiculous where it sits right now. The sleeves need to be extended. So this means this part needs to be longer. And this part needs a little bit more of an armhole opening. So it's not as tight because it's chafing. It's really chafing. It's very bad. So it is way too tight around the arm. So we're gonna have to change that. But we have these seams, which are also technically a little bit farther away. Like, it needs to be a little bit wider up top. And also it does not have the leather sidings. It is just painted black. So it has the appearance of what it is. And it has a lot of raw edges inside, which are not very pleasant to have on your skin. Especially because this is the lowest layer. I can see, yeah. It looks so comfortable. It is. So we're gonna do it better the next time. It is very stretchy, which is nice, but this is not nice. It's not nice. So yeah, this is gonna be one of the things that we're gonna change. I'm gonna get out of this again. See you in a second. This is like a, how do you call it? Like a room divider. Where's the, okay. We got this. I know how to wear a shirt. Okay. Lovely. There we are. Wonderful. We're back in business. Hi. So that's what I have, and it's wrong. So it's lovely. I could get on the floor right now and make a prototype because I'm pretty sure I could. I wonder if I could make a prototype of the actual fabric so I know what it looks like. Because I don't know how much of the fabric I need. I could stretch it out on the floor, make sure I have enough space for it, because it's a lot of pattern pieces. I also don't want to fuck it up. So, I'm nervous. I can tell you that much. I'm very nervous about all this. Which is also why I haven't really started. This is like the main reason why I haven't started, is because I'm nervous about fucking it up. Because this is expensive fabric and I'm a scaredy cat. But then again, the date of the con is nearing. It's nearing so hard, and I am very nervous about it. But I'm also just like, I'm just sitting here talking instead of doing things, and I should be doing things, but I'm also hungry. It's very daunting, yes. I'm also unsure if I want to do every stream like this, because it's obvious. And by like this, I don't mean like I'm gonna read you a chapter of the book every time, because like that's ridiculous. We're not gonna do that. What I mean with that is if there's gonna be a lot of talking, because it could also just be a craft with me, which is essentially just like a long fucking montage of me sitting on the floor drafting, doing sewing machine noises, and sometimes talking to you. Because this is essentially very unproductive in my eyes. Like sitting here talking to you instead of doing stuff, it's very unproductive in the eyes of this heap of fabric that isn't being made into clothes, right? Like it's not productive. I'm telling you that much. So I can see the next time we do this, maybe even today, be more like Evan's art streams, which is also, he's very focused at times where he just doesn't talk, which is fine. But like in between someone, I will. So maybe I can get together the hopefully not license heavy playlist of the soundtrack of Shadow and Bone, specifically all of the Kadadam scenes in the background, and then because I don't know if I want to listen to lo-fi unless they make like a spooky version of it, because I would love that. I would love a spooky Danville lo-fi like gaming sounds thing, because that's what Evan uses, right? A lot of the Danville stuff, which is cool. So I'm unsure. Peak Ghost, hello. The stream sounds perfect for preparing D&D stuff. Yeah, so like it's gonna be loud, like sewing machine noises, which I'm gonna try and mute a little bit so I can put the microphone somewhere ways away. It's hard to do something when your brain is not into the task, to be honest. Yeah, that's fair. Currently my brain is very much on the I need to eat something train. It's also been 2 hours and 15 minutes. You can probably hear my stomach. Yay. Yeah. I also need to research a bunch. I need to research how exactly I can make the shirt work, like the undershirt, the normal shirt, the vest. Especially because the vest also needs an inner layer when it is already very thick. I also have a different kind. I don't even know if I don't think that's leather though. That's different. It's not the same consistency. We also have, if you can see right underneath that red stuff, the gray peeking out there, that is more of the wild leather fox suede, fake suede stuff that the Inej's undershirt is made from, which we can still use to make different pattern pieces of it. And this as like the prototype, and the next one as the final piece. I don't know, because like I'm realizing that I'm really, really hungry actually. But also just doing nothing is also very unproductive. What say you? We take a 10-minute little break. I make myself some food. I come back and I feed and I eat it intermittently while I work on my stuff. We could do that. which, you know, unproductive. But food is important, and I'm very hungry, and I'm gonna be very, very distracted by me being hungry. But I still want to do at least something. So I can think on whether or not I want to start with the shirt, the undershirt, or the vest. Because technically I need the vest to be done first. Oh, the undershirt to be done first, because that is the foundation of it all. Like, I need that to fit under the shirt, I need the shirt to fit under the vest, and so the layers need to technically be done from the ground up. So we technically need to start with the undershirt, so we could, with the corrections, try and lay down the pattern pieces for the new piece, and I might possibly finish with that tonight. I don't know. It probably not, because I always say, oh, that's so easy, I'm gonna finish it tonight, and then I finish it in like 2 weeks. So we'll see. You're thinking about being productive, but it's the exact thing that makes you unproductive. Please get some food. Yes. I think we're gonna do like a 15-minute break. I know it's long, but I need a little bit of time to make my food. So like for a little bit after 9 p.m. So you can see right there, a little bit after 9 p.m. A little bit after 10 p.m. Sorry. I'll be back, and then we're gonna do some floor shuffling to make patterns, and I'm gonna try and talk you through it, but we'll see about that. Just so you know, I'm just gonna go make myself some food, and then I can eat while I talk and stuff. Juno about to travel through time. I wish, but no. But yeah, I'm gonna send you over to the Be Right Back screen, and I will be back. I'm so white from over here. It looks so funny. I can probably just boop. There you go. Alright. Oh, it's still my birthday thing. That's funny. Okay. 1 second. Boop. And then I'm just gonna leave. Bye. I did not realize that I had the music turned off. I'm so sorry. Hello. Hi. 1 second. Hi. I'm back with food. We've got some couscous with a lot of spices. We have some onion in here. We have a lot of paprika, a lot of chili, some parsley, olive oil, and love. The best spice of all. I'm gonna have a little snack. Gonna eat a little bit. I'm gonna talk about what we're gonna do. Because, like, I could have easily just immediately started into the action, but I want to talk about it. Woo! We have on the floor, which you can't see. Hi. You can see me in the mirror. I already packed out the fabric of the undershirt, and we're gonna try and see how far we can get tonight on the undershirt. It's gonna be depressing because I could have started way earlier, but that's on me. Yes, a little bit of silly snacking, which is great to say with a mouthful, but you know. Usually I put a little bit of feta cheese in here, but I was already kind of running late to my promised time of 5 after, so here we are. Fetalas. Which is funny because in German, if you say it a little differently, it's vaterlos, which is fatherless. That's me. That's my connection that I just made there, but don't worry. There's a moth. Go away. This is not your space. Shoo! Are you trying to piss me off? Shoo! It's already. Hey, I said go. Be gone. But okay. It's lovely that you can see it too. Anyways, so we have it on the floor. I'm gonna lay it out, and then I'm gonna cut out, or at least I'm gonna draw on the pattern pieces, and I'm gonna look at the original shirt, and I might even just put it on again just to see what the issues are, and then draw on exactly what I need to change. Exactly on the pattern pieces themselves. I don't even know if I did that on the original print of the pattern as well, because I'm pretty sure I already was like, this is wrong, and I might have already changed it, but I'm not sure. For some reason I thought that moth was just part of the cottage OBS scene you had. No, there's nothing animated about this sequence, but it's cute that you think that way. It's not though. It is very much not. The cottage scene has become very real because I do live in a village. Isn't that crazy? Mom. Nom 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 nom. What? I'm gonna move you back. Gonna move you back. Gonna move you back so you don't fall down the side of this piece of furniture. I have my white little pen out somewhere. Didn't I just have it in my hand? Is it in my pocket now? Where did you go? Didn't I just... Where did I put that? It's somewhere. I'll find it. Let's put stuff down and then I just never find it again. Where did you go? There you are. White gel pen. My favorite. Because chalk often doesn't work on the fabrics that I'm currently working with. So I use this pencil, this pen, it's a gel pen, to draw on my fabric pieces to cut them out. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with it. And then we are going to finish it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I could possibly just put the soundtrack that I just downloaded on in the background because this is still. Oh yeah, it's still the Risley soundtrack, which is lovely. That's his office that he's got, that we've got going in the background. We love Risley in the background. But what we want is this one. It's unreleased music. Kaz and Inej, the first scene, together. Crow's theme score restored, which has a little bit of rain sounds in it and a little bit of classical music, and it's really nice. And it's apparently also pretty loud, so I'm just gonna leave it down like that. I hope it's not too obscuring. I don't have my headphones on for obvious reasons because this is far away, but I can like. It's very quiet though. Should I turn it up? Is that too quiet? Should I turn it up? I can turn it up. Blink, blink. Is that... Wait. Is that the fault of this? No. It's just very quiet. It looks loud, but it is quiet. Right. There we go. Is that okay? Or is that too loud? Put the headphones over there. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna lay you down somewhere. So I can, well, this microphone. The camera I'm just gonna angle downward so you can see. I might just put it on the chair. Put it on the chair, put it on the chair. We're gonna be down there. Should I just... also just... Alright. Whee! Hello. Don't look at my crotch. Don't worry about it. Go down, down, and sure, we're going down swinging. There comes my book into frame. Then we're gonna tighten this back up. Make sure that's all snug. And then, I don't know, we're gonna figure this out. Just angle you downwards even more. Not really, but we're working with it. Is that okay? I'm gonna, sorry, for the moment, I'm gonna take this away. And also, oh, that's the wrong frame. Haha. There you are. Okay, that's a little bit a lot. That is sorry, taken away. Cam frame nameplate. What the fuck is that? Oh yeah, right, that's that. Frame. Yeah. It's so naked now. That looks so weird. It's fine though, I think. Yeah. Let's just... I have my gel pen here. I have my food there. I'm gonna move... you here. Is it gonna be okay? You're gonna be okay? I hope so. Hi. Okay. It's floor time. You can see me double. Yay. Okay. So, my little top thing is... I just yeeted it all the way over here, which is very smart of me. But essentially, these are the... Can you see that? You can't see that, can I? I don't think I can move the camera any closer, can I? No. You can't see that. Can I, however, move the camera in any way into the shutter speed? F5, saturation, contrast, maybe a little bit down. Sharpness, let's see. Can you see that now? A little bit better, at least. And the light of the cameras, you can see the seams. It is also very dark, like it's okay. But these are where the seams are, and it is very uncomfortable, so we're gonna have to change that as well. So it is either gonna be double feature, or it's gonna get a lining of a different thing, or I'm just gonna have to finish the seams, which is also a thing I can and should do, because that's a thing a good seamstress does, which is finish the seams. But for now, we're just gonna figure out how we're gonna do this. Yay. Okay. So, just gonna take a quick bite of my food. It's kind of eerily quiet because usually I listen to music, but I can't. Well, technically I could, because I have Bluetooth on my little phone. Because I have little ear things. One sec. So I could do that so I don't feel like I'm gonna explode. Please don't tell me you're just broken. No, you're just being a little shit. Okay. So my little, I just showed it to the microphone. Yeah, that's gonna help. Can listen a little bit to music, so I don't feel like I'm going insane just talking to an empty room. 1 second. I'm gonna set something up. I think I'm gonna go on my left ear instead of my right ear, because then I feel like I can still listen to you guys, which is weird. Technically also yeah, there we go. The right one also controls the most of this, but that's okay. I was listening to my liked songs a little bit, which is fine. But it feels much better already. I feel much more at ease and no more of the general anxiousness. But what I'm gonna do, look at my creaking fucking legs. I'm gonna take my iPad down so I can actually read chat, because I can't read it that well from down here to up there. The most gentlest of touches. So gentle. What did I miss? Why is Juno proposing to the camera? I'm not proposing to anyone. We're seamstressing. We're doing pattern work. This is what we're trying to achieve. I already have a version of this top, but we're gonna change it because it sucks a little bit. So we're gonna do our best to fix it. But yeah, it does suck a lot. Like it is not great. Essentially, I could technically also take this apart and redo it. And by redo it, I mean like just re-sew a lot of it, because the seam allowance on the sides, which is not necessarily the problem, so that's why I need to redo it. Could be we'll figure it out. I'm still thinking about it all, of how and when and where. Okay, you are... How the fuck did I do that the last time? Need to figure out where the stretch patterns are, that's why I'm stretching it. Because this doesn't need to give that much, however the width of it needs to be very stretchy, because that's where I need the stretch. The long end of it shouldn't stretch that much. Like it doesn't, like if I pull on it, it doesn't give that much. However, if I pull like this, it gives a lot. So I know where the stretch patterns are. This is the long side, this is the wide side. You're welcome. Anyways, now I need to figure out what this... Okay, it's the long pattern. This is the short pattern. You can also see it here very clearly. If I hold it here and I pull it here, it doesn't give that much. But if I pull like this, it goes very far. Demonstration over. Okay. Now I have to figure out where my pattern pieces are. So we have 2 of these. Because these are the sides, and I need to make sure that I mirror them, which means I need to put it like this. Boop, boop. Because if I don't, I have the same pattern piece, which makes no fucking sense. Anyways. This is the back side. Okay. Mainly the problem, I think, is the front. Which makes sense because I'm kind of Frankensteining two pieces together. You can't even see me, I'm so sorry. Hi! I could probably, like, come here. Come here. Hello, camera. Come on. There you go. It's pants time. Also, you can close this window. Yeah, you don't need to see the table. You can see me over there. You can see my little earphone box. You don't need to see that. So sneaky. Alright. Hi, there we are. We're back. We're so back. Okay. Okay. Do I have both sides of the back? Apparently I was lazy. Okay. Side front, left, side front, right. And then we have the middle part, which is this funky shape. Looks like a thong. Very funny. It is the middle shape that needs to be, and this is where the side parts go. This is essentially the idea. The back connects to that. Okay. Spread you out. Technically that means I need to extend the little part down there because that's what's fucking us over. Little part down there. So if I were to okay. Little part down there is fucking us over, which means for me right now. Excerpt. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit. Move this up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Woo! I have a little like excerpt down here that I'm trying to fill up as much as I can so I'm not wasting fabric because this fabric was expensive and I don't want to fuck up the patterning on this. So I'm just sketching in with my little pen. Come on. I know you can write. You haven't dried up yet. Well, I know you haven't, but you're not exactly showing that right now. Don't embarrass me in front of an audience. That's just mean. Despite seems stressing, I hope you're having fun doing it. I'm always stressed, you know this. Jokes aside, being able to make your own cosplay rules. Yeah. She's doing stuff. Pog. I am doing stuff. Trying to, at least. This pen just does not want to work. Hello. Look at this. This is entirely full of ink. You can't even see that, but I swear to you, it's full of ink. It's just pretending it's not. Ooh, okay. I need to... Whatever works, right? Haha! A little bit of rolling in the hand, you know. Sometimes that is all it takes. I'm a genius. Anyways. Cool. I'm gonna extend it a little bit at the top. And keep the same curve on the inside because the inseam is very, very wide. So I can just have the inseam be a little bit different while I sew it together this time around. Hello. Okay. TD? Okay. We're thinking too much of the gay thoughts. Let's go. I keep trying to fill the silence a little bit. I apologize if that's just nonsense to you. Also I want to extend this. By how much do you want to extend this? At least a couple of centimeters. Let's just say... Extend this. Didn't I write on this before? No, I didn't. No. Yay! It's getting showered in nails, but this is my yardstick. You can't really see that. My yardstick. Yardstick. It's a yard. It has inches and centimeters. Which then means I know how much I extended this. I'm gonna say like 4 inches, because then I have a 1-inch inseam. Extend it past this little point. I'm gonna go up a little bit further down, so I have a little bit wider of a berth down there. Like with the same angle. Then go there. Make sure we're not having any weird bubbles in there. Extend it downwards a whole bunch. If I were to put just a straight line down here, and try and not curve it too much. So we have the extended 4 inches. And then what I can do, given that I have just created a new pattern piece, is I'm going to pencil in the seam allowance, which I'm going to make pretty tiny. Because if I keep it tiny, I can still sew on top of it a little bit. However, if I do it wider, I'm gonna have to open it all up again. This technically needs a little bit more, but it's fine. This at like half to a centimeter. That's fine. There we go. Okay. We have this, which in turn means cut this out, which is with my big fabric scissors. They're very large and very pointy. Pretty sure my spine would have cracked already. Yeah, keep going. I'm trying! My knees have cracked earlier, which I think is very funny. As I was like walking across the floor on my knees, it was very funny to me. At least a little bit. Okay. Cut. Okay. I'm just gonna cut out a piece very roughly. You can kind of see the lines a little bit. Yeah, pattern piece. We've extended the pattern piece. This is the original, this is the extended one. I've extended it by 4 whole inches. So because I need to roll up the bottom hem a little bit, I'm gonna still have it not be as long, but it will still be quite long. So I'm gonna put you on the floor so I don't accidentally cut into my sweats, because that would be bad. Don't want to cut into my sweats. I need my pants intact for this stream. And following streams. I really like these sweatpants. Go. There. It's gonna be pretty choppy, but so are curves. Curves are a little bit choppy sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna have a bucket somewhere. Yes! Ta-da. I love cleaning my room and finding random treasures everywhere. I'm gonna open up this bucket. I'm gonna put my fabric scraps in there so I can save them. This one is not gonna become anything either, so we're gonna put you in there. Alright, so now that we have this, I'll just put you away. We are going to continue. Well, I think since I kind of want to keep the straight edges of the outer rim. Outer rim? Oh my god. I think this different thing. Put you there. If I put you here. And put you there. Put you out. Get you there. We're working on it. There's technically still. Okay, you need to also get extended by 4 inches. You do not forget about that, because that would be quite detrimental to this entire progress, right? Forgetting that I extended by 4 inches. Okay. 4 inches. Your thingies. By thingies, I mean the upper ends of this need to also be extended. 4 inches is actually not that much if you think about it, which is really fun. Funny to me. Well, okay, this is kind of unfortunate because there's like a little corner here. So I'm gonna have to actually scoot this up a little bit so I can still get my 4 inches in. Which sounds like an innuendo, I promise you it's not. So, that. Need to up here a little bit. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds, looks, smells. There we go. turn this around. This looks so much like a banana. It's funny. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Because, like, if I mess this up, I don't have enough fabric to do it again. That's the thing. So. I mean, this is already extended, so I don't need to have more space for this, but then I have this entire piece is just empty, unused space. How much space do we need? We can make sure queue up and use up the most space over here. Because I can't forget that I have to extend all of the pieces, right? Because if I extend the front side, the front piece, I need to also extend the back, both panels. So that's a thing that I need to worry about. Yay. I love worrying about things. Okay. Put you here. Yardstick. I think I can. No, I can't. Okay. Give up on it. Give up on the dream. It's fine. Gonna put you here. Okay. And then I'm gonna cut across here. Have this as the side correction. So I'm gonna use, you can't really see that, but the side seam that goes very straight across, I'm gonna use that as a guideline for a very straight bottom line. So I don't mess it up. Okay, I messed it up a little bit, but that's okay. That's like not even a quarter of an inch of a mess up. It's fine. I'm gonna have you be a little bit wider. That's okay. And then I'm gonna make sure that you are lined up just right. Okay, that means you need to be a little bit wider. That's okay. Alright. Yeah, I made these seam allowance a whole inch wide for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, technically it is also just to make sure that, because you can't really add fabric. You could, but it looks weird. So, okay, I'm gonna change this as well in a second. And by this, I mean the fabric piece. Okay, no more need for you. No more need for you either. So you're going through the shame corner. So I'm gonna open this sleeve hole up a little bit by about an inch. Erase this, or try to, and by erase this or try to, I mean lick my fingers and make sure to wipe the excess ink away. This is how the old masters did it, I promise. Gonna draw in the seam allowance is way smaller than it was on the pattern piece, so I have plausible deniability to also just make it bigger, smaller, whatever I want. Still here, just not going to comment. Go. Don't worry. This is, I'm commenting into the nothingness. to your entertainment. Don't worry about it. Honestly, they kind of remind me of stuff preschool teachers have to do. I've seen my mother do similar stuff before, just not with fabric. Yeah, patterning is very fun. Okay, okay, you're already extended. I'm gonna put you. Come on. Can't make this any different than the piece that I'm referencing, because then it's gonna look weird on the final model, right? And the final model being me, and also the final piece of this. Apparently cut off a corner here. It's just bad seamstressing right there. Okay. Chink. Okay, we have you finished. Gonna draw in the seam allowance here as well. Chink. Oh. Okay. I have to make sure that I don't cut into this. It's gonna be okay, I'm sure. I'm sure. Okay. So if this, I think that's where the weird cut was from last time. Let's put you up here. It's, I think, a better use of our space. Not that it's supremely better, but it works. Ranges. Stay where I want you to be. Okay. Oh, it's not even that bad. Place. Go there. Well, I can also cut out this one and just lay it on top of it. That's my original plan, I just forgot about it. I'm sure it's always fun to have all of the pattern pieces on the same fabric, but since I'm changing so much about these, it makes a lot of sense to have them accurately mirrored, which means I'm cutting out the pattern pieces, putting them the wrong way around, need to remember that, and then cutting them out again, the other way around, so it's mirrored. Come here. These tiny corners, always such a pain. So I have one easy side, which is the one with an open side, and I have one where I have to cut it all out, which is fine, it's fine. Okay. There we go. There we cut. Strap in here. Oh, the wing of a ladybug. What a way. I think that was just trapped in the fabric somewhere. I have bugs all over this room. Dead bugs. I collect bees, like bumblebees that have died, and a little thing up on my shelf, which sounds weird, but I feel like it's not that weird of a hobby. Okay. That down. reverse it, twist it, put it down, and tug it in place. So I can make sure it's not necessarily overlapping with anything else. Okay, tuck you down this way. Yes. Tug him on down. Okay, that's where the pen is. It looks so wide. Like, this armhole looks so wide, but I promise you, because of the seam allowance and everything, it makes total sense. And because of how the shape of these things, how that works. Because, like, I was quite surprised to see how large all of this is, but it makes total sense when you have it on a body. Because it is similar in size and length of armhole on the original, and you saw how snug that fit me. Like, it's funny, really. Okay, go on. Okay. There we go. All right. Whee! I have a little bit of a seam allowance that I'm gonna just immediately pencil in. Pencil in always sounds so funny when I'm using a gel pen. I'm gonna gel it in like gelatin. These are gonna overlap quite a bunch, the back panel middle pieces, because I'm gonna possibly attempt to put the zipper back in again so it is more screen accurate. But we're gonna have to see how that works. Whee. There we go. And now we're gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do this the cleverest way. Because this is obviously taking a lot of space. Right? Could have definitely done that smarter. But here we are. From there, that point. I'm just gonna use this. Sure. All the way across. Okay. There. Okay. Look like they're different sizes, but they're not. I'm pretty sure, at least. Okay. That works. Well, it doesn't work actually. I need to move you over again because I'm extending the sleeves. I forgot about that. That's more of a patch I'm aware. I know how the American system works. There we go. And I can always take away from it I can just not add to it. That's the problem. Let's see. Does it make sense to fold it here? I think that does. Makes sense to cut it on the fold. Which is funny because the fold is what the big shadowy cut in the middle of Ravka is called. It's called the fold. Fun fact. Looks like a little cocktail dress at this point, which you can't really see, but I think it's funny. Fascinating. Straight. But it is straight because I folded it. If it wasn't a curve, I'd notice. Okay. So thin, but I know it's correct. I know it is. Okay. That's cutting time. Where's my scissors? There you are. I'm gonna start with this piece. Come here. Here. It's technically not how you're supposed to cut fabric. You're supposed to cut fabric in long, even strokes. Okay. Ah! You're still attached by a single thread. There you go. And just to make sure that I didn't fuck up entirely. Perfect. They're mirrored. Yay. I know I didn't fuck up. I just wanted to make sure. Because sometimes I think I'm fine and then it fucked up instead. Away. What? Come on. Love. Got it. It's just a straight line up. And now, just not to forget that I have to cut this on the fold. Cut the little snip. I'm gonna cut off this snip as well, because this is not gonna get to be anything anytime soon. Okay. So to cut on the fold, which, you know, I'm not great at explaining things, because I'm just starting ranting in the middle of it, but find the middle part, which I've marked. That was me handing around the little, what you call it? Yardstick earlier. Feels like it's worked, but it's not. I know that it's not. But I have a feeling. Okay. Barely. When you fit, I know that you do. There we go. Can technically go get tucked a little bit inwards. That's okay. Come here. Alright. And now, to cut fully on the fold, which I folded over, you can't really see it, but the pattern piece is cut. If I am trying to split this t-shirt in two, I'm going to split it like this, then I'm going to fold it down the middle. So I have this side, and then I'm going to cut all around it to cut it out. That's what I'm doing right now. Snip, snip, snip. Yep. Snip, snip, snip. Can we summon Evan with this? Snips. Which is the name Anakin gives Ahsoka during the years where Ahsoka is his Padawan. Okay. Glad that I planned on the seam allowance from the get-go, because I would just forget to put in seam allowance from the get-go. It would be very, very painful. But I put in seam allowance on purpose in the pattern already, which a lot of patterns do, but I just want to be extra sure. So make sure to include a lot of seam allowance. So there. And then we cut across once. Probably. Chink. Cut. And there we are. A double piece. Yay. Gonna draw in the seam allowance in the middle now. Looks a little bit funky, but that's okay. I'll fix it when I sew it together. Lost my pen. There's my pen. Alright. Littlest, tiniest seam allowance. Because we're gonna try go big. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do around that middle part. I'm also currently thinking about, since I do have like an appointment tomorrow morning, and it is 11, if I'm gonna sew this at all, or if I'm gonna, like on stream I mean, or if I'm gonna sew this off stream and show you the finished product later, because like this is not like a tutorial, this is just me showing you my progress, and that's okay if, and I'm telling this to myself, It's okay if I don't show you the entire thing, the entire progress. It's a glimpse into my doings and to motivate me to actually do it. Because I feel like I'm being a little bit more productive and I'm pressuring myself by having you guys here to do something. Because sometimes I do actually need pressure from an audience, and that audience might be my friends, my mother coming to visit, you guys, anyone to pressure me to do things. Because now we've finished it, we have all of the pieces. I'm just gonna make sure that this you get cut off. We have only a little bit left. This is all I've got now of this fabric. Let's hope I don't need to use it. Because that would be sad. Because there's not a lot of it left and I don't have enough to make another. I hope that this time it works. I do sincerely hope that. Okay. Alright. Just gonna fold this up nice and neat. And then put it back where you came from. Oh yeah. You were the fabric I was talking about earlier. So also nice and thick. But I don't think I can use this as a prototype for the leather because the leather specifically is also just. Well, I could make a leather prototype. But yeah, I can lay this out. How it's gonna fit together later. It's the back piece. I really need that. There. This is how the shirt is gonna go together at the front. And then we have the back pieces over here. If I move this over here, we can have both of them here at the same time. Let's just get up, roll this out like a prayer carpet. There we go. These are all pattern pieces. I'm gonna put together best I can in this way. Probably not today, but we did something. We cut out some pattern pieces, and next time I'm gonna sew these together like this, so these seams disappear over here too. Hopefully with a wider armhole, and hopefully I can also fit in a little black trim. Otherwise I'm gonna have to figure something out. I'm gonna figure out if I have something that is thin enough that I can put it on the inside. I'm gonna finish off my seams for once in my life. It's all very possible. I think for today I'm gonna leave it at that. I know, very cliffhanger-y. Very evil of me. But I've also got a lot of shit to do. And I gotta get up early tomorrow. It's kind of takes priority right now. And over the course of these next months, because I go there in beginning of October. So I have August and I have September. But since I'm gone for most of August, it means that technically I only have September. So in September, what I'm planning to do is I'm going to sprinkle in a few more Inej streams during the week. So we're probably going to have 2 Inej streams a week. And then, you know, Genshin, Honkai, possibly. I mean, Resi most likely too, but I don't know if Stardew Valley still finds a place there if I'm going to be really, really busy. We'll see how that goes. But essentially, 2 Inej streams, Genshin, Honkai, Resi, and that's technically already 6 days. No, that's not 6 days. I can't count. That's 5 days. You're sitting on the floor. It looks like one of those channels that does silly video essays. I'm just silly on the floor. I can just lay down, actually. My back hurts a little bit, so this is actually quite nice. Peace. Yeah, I need to probably lay down after the stream, because if I do sit like a little shrimp, it's not gonna be nice for my back. I need to, actually, on Tuesday, I'm gonna go see my doctor about that. Yay. Let's go. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably plan through my month in September in advance a little bit. I'm gonna figure out when to do what. Just the times are gonna change probably. Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, I definitely need to go to bed. But yeah, this has been fun. This has been a fun intro. We at least got something done, which is cutting out fabric pieces, which is, you know, the start and be all of everything. But yeah, September is gonna be full of cosplay streams, and then it's gonna kind of trickle out again, because I don't think I'm gonna do a lot of cosplays after that. But Inej is very near and dear to my heart, as I've said before, and very, very important, because I have a deadline for it. And it's encroaching very rapidly, and I've been neglecting this project for way too long. So this really needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. If, and that's a big if, because I'm not sure. Like, I'm so sure we're not gonna have time for that. If I have time for it, I might work on a secondary cosplay, because I'm also planning on cutting my hair shorter, not short, just shorter. Like a good couple of inches, so my undercut can grow with the rest of my hair in sort of tandem. In my brain, I'm thinking about, because, you know, brain rots change rapidly these days. It's crazy. I'm thinking about cosplaying Nami from the live action. It's a big if. It's a big maybe. But with a shorter haircut, it could work, because I'm not gonna sit down and make a cosplay about Robin de Noir, even though I really, really want to. That's just a project that will take me like a year, probably, with my current workload, so we're not gonna do that. Right, thank you, Vita, thank you. Well, thank you for the stream and for showing us your secret clothes making workplace. Well, it is just... We've just turned around. If I turn the camera just a little bit, you're gonna see the normal backdrop. It's just slightly to the side. Very slightly. Hi. I'm gonna also finish my food, because I have just been, like I said, I lock in and then I just I just forget to eat. That's my fatal flaw. I'm just gonna clean up this mess. And then we're gonna continue at some point. Not next week, because next week I'm gonna be with my friends, and I need every spare minute to actually work on stuff. Yeah. Brainwaves are the fastest thing in the world. Unfortunately, yes. Currently it's the One Piece live action again. I've seen Sanji edits again and Zoro edits again, and I'm just lying on the floor. Yeah. God. Nami and a lot of them are just so hot, and I'm wondering if my table is currently breaking, but I don't think it is. I just need to check, because my monitor is currently precariously like leaning forward, because I put it that way so I can see myself on the OBS screen. I'm just worried that I haven't screwed it on tightly enough and that it's currently breaking apart my poor desk. So I'm gonna, because I can see underneath it and I can see the screws being at a precarious angle, so I'm gonna, you know. It was there all along. But yeah. I'm gonna just go eat, go read, go to bed. Next time I'm gonna have the first, like, hour and a half not be just reading and talking shit. Next time the entire 3.5 hours of me working with stuff, maybe even 4, depending on when I start, when I end, it's gonna be working. It's gonna be hard working on the floor with the sewing machine on the table, probably doing things. Because it is important that I actually focus and that I don't get myself distracted. But I felt like this intro was important so people know who this character is that I'm making, who I'm so obsessed with. Because if I just start making clothes and you're like, who the fuck is this? I can be like, hey, first stream of the chapter, baby, just look at it. So there's the first chapter, there's a little bit of an introduction, there's a little bit of her personality woven in. I can tell you some fun facts and spoilers. And then, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, for today and because, you know, today is Sunday. Usually I would bring out a schedule, but I think either today or tomorrow I'm going to bring out a little post, a little artwork, and I'm going to just here also officially say I'm not going to be streaming next week. Because I just forgot. I literally just forgot that it is already Sunday. Because in my brain I was like, oh yeah, this is Saturday. It's fine. It's not fine. It's Sunday. So next week, no streams. No streams on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe the week after, starting Wednesday, the 13th, the 14th. I might do some streams, but I'm gonna have Evan and his significant other Oak here. Just let me look at my little calendar real quick. Yeah. August, yeah. The 8th is when I get them here. On the 13th, everybody's gonna leave, I think. And the 14th might be the next stream. We'll see. If I need to clean up a lot, we'll see. I don't remember. Yeah, no, the 12th is my beloved's birthday, so 13th is when everybody leaves. So either on that evening, I doubt it, or the 14th is when I start streaming some more. I'm probably gonna do that's gonna be like a very simple week of like Genshin, Honkai, possibly like some Penacony. Probably not any Stardew. We're gonna see. I might do Stardew on the 16th. We'll see again. And then Inej cosplay stuff on Saturday this time, I swear. And then probably nothing on Sunday, because that's what I need to do the artwork. Then it's Scotland time, actually, from the 19th to the 28th. And after the 28th, on the 29th, I'm gonna start streaming again. Just so you know. There's gonna be some intermittent changes. And I'm gonna keep you guys updated. On the Discord, I'm probably gonna just chill in the text chats. So if you wanna be updated next week on what I'm doing, where I am, I'm probably going to be texting in the main channels on the Discord, which are in the description, linked down there. If you're feeling lonely, I have a few, like, edits up on my TikTok that you can watch that I made myself. Little shameless self-plug right there. They're not many, they're not like perfect, but I like them a lot, so if you want to look at those, that's there. There's some cosplays there that are very cringe that you can also look at if you wanna. There's my Twitter, which I don't use. But definitely the Discord, because that's where a lot of cool people are. Namely, all of these people. Which is Beta, Nan, and Victor. Also, Zek is over there. Also, Evan's gonna... Well, Evan isn't really on the Discord, which is fair. Evan has his own Discord, and he's still streaming for 45 minutes. So I'm gonna figure out... I'm just gonna have to move my mouse over to the other monitor, which is all the way over there. Yeah, we don't have any desktop sounds, which is good. Because he's doing a little work with me, which is really cute. So, you should check him out. Wait, where's my mouse? There you are. You should check out this guy, and you should go chill over there, because I'm probably gonna chill over there as well, because I have him open right there. Nobody's in chat. How dare. Why is there nobody there? Oh, wait, maybe my chat is not working, because there's clearly, like, Zeke, Helene, Antoine is in chat on the screen, but maybe mine is just not working. But yeah, here's my Twitter, which I don't use. Good for you. I use it to post my schedules, and that's it. I have an old Twitter that I use on the regular. Have fun finding that one, because I'm not going to tell you where it is. I think Beta knows. Don't tell him. Because that is just where I like and retweet all of my ship art and whatever, and you know, nobody needs to know that. Nobody cares what I ship. And nobody should care. If you care about that, fuck off. I ship normal stuff. It's fine. But that's not the topic of the conversation right now. I just, you know, that's my little private Twitter. It's not privated because I wanted to, that's the one I interact with stuff on. But don't stalk me, please. The secret Twitter. Yes. Yeah. Mostly just, you can find me on Discord. That's where you find me. Mostly, you don't even need to @, me anywhere. Like, you don't need to, fully, @ Juno Casket. You don't need to do that. I read everything anyways. I will see your message. For later or for worse, I will see it eventually. Don't worry about it. I read every message. Well, or at least skim over it if I'm like, oh, I'm noticed. I'm in this conversation. I should reply. I will. But mostly I'm just like, interesting. Whee! Bye. But that's on me. Anyways, I'm gonna go. You should go check out my guy, Evan, with the link that I've put in the chat. And now I'm gonna go clean up what I've messed up over here. And probably so in the meantime. I don't know. I'm not gonna do anything more tonight. I think I'm just gonna go to bed. Secret Web Underground Juno Twitter. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah. I'm gonna leave you guys. I have my keyboard up on this up on the extra cupboard thing. So yay. I'm gonna figure out if that thing is actually breaking, because I'm pretty sure it's not, but it's tilting very dangerously and I don't like that. But yeah, I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun doing this. Except for my back. My back doesn't like it. But that's okay. I'll see you guys next week or in the Discord this week. But definitely the week after that one. I'll see you there. And until then, have fun. Don't cause too much trouble. Watch my friend Evan. He streams regularly. I don't think Zeka streams at the moment, but definitely watch my friend Evan, which you can see in this link right there. And also on the Discord under very many links. That is where he's also linked with all of his stuff, all of his links that he has. So yeah. I'll see you sooner or later.